The two national anthems then played this evening by the Boghall and Mathgate Pipe Band. A rousing rendition of Flower of Scotland, and the vast majority of the supporters here this evening at Broadwood Stadium certainly following on the fortunes of the home side. Of course, Broadwood, a ground built in 1994 for £8 million, the home of Clyde Football Club, and for this year's RBS Six Nations, Scotland's women will be playing all their matches on this 3G surface. Alongside me is Claire Bain. Claire, you won 5 caps for Scotland. You've been in this position before. You're so eager to get this match underway. There's a big crowd here this evening for this game. Of course, it's a double header with the under-20s to follow. This is what it's all about, reaching this level, playing on this stage.
Definitely, this is what all the training's about for the girls. They've worked hard leading up to this moment. This pitch is good. It's going to be a fast game of rugby, hopefully, and they'll look to attack straight from the start.
Well, certainly there'll be a little bit extra zip to the pitch, because as you could see from the pictures, just about 10 minutes before kick-off, the heavens opened over Cumbernauld, and that will certainly give us a little bit additional zip. The referee this evening is Amy Barrett-Theron from South Africa, and she'll just give us the signal that all is good. And the first instalment of this season's RBS Women's Six Nations Championship will get underway. Nora Stapleton then in the standoff position for Ireland, and immediately Scotland are looking to build from just short of their own 10-metre line. Good work there from Sarah Law. Of course, her father Andy Law, a referee himself, so she'll know all about the rules and regulations of the game. As Scotland carry just beyond their own 10-metre line just now, building through the phases, and this an important stage in the match. They'll just want to settle things down as quickly as possible and get into the groove.
Yeah, definitely. They'll not want to do anything too crazy at this time. They just want to get into their patterns, start playing the way they've been training, and bringing everything they can to this opening first part of the game.
Ireland have managed to steal that just on halfway, and it's carried forward there by Lindsey Peat in the front row alongside Leah Lyons. This is her second cap tonight for the Ireland hooker, coming sideways in between the two channels, the 5 and the 15, carried forward by Eilish Egan there, just a few metres inside Scotland territory, through the hands very quickly there of Stapleton, out to the Irish right hand side, just on halfway at the moment, picked up again by Hughes at scrum half, winning her first cap this evening and desperate to impress Tom Tierney and the Irish coaching staff. Ireland just happy to go through the phases at the moment, but Scotland doing a lot of good defensive work here. The dink kick then from Nora Stapleton over the first initial line of Scotland defence there, but Scotland scrambling back and able to gather just on the edge of their 22. I think just at the moment Scotland will be quite satisfied with how they've dealt with Ireland trying on a number of occasions to play ball through hand, but then eventually putting boot to ball to play a bit of territory there.
Yeah, definitely. Ireland weren't going forward, that's why they had to look for the kick, and Scotland will definitely be happy with their defence on that and stopping Ireland making much ground with ball in hand. That's
a touch finder there, it seems, for Scotland as they cleared downfield. The referee, though, has spotted an infringement. Scotland putting a bit of additional pressure on that kick forward, and they've an opportunity on halfway. You can see that the kick was played, it was angled, and it was just knocked forward there by Ireland's right winger Niamh Kavanagh, but it was certainly going for a touch finder. It's given them a position just inside Irish territory, and that's a good boot downfield, and this is a good opportunity now for Rachel Malcolm inside the opening 2.5 minutes to show what she can do in her third cap this evening.
Yeah, this will be interesting. She played in the back row against Spain, so it'll be interesting to see how she gets on at hooker.
Just briefly called for a towel to give the ball a wipe, so she is holding on now, and we'll see what happens from the throw-in. Taken towards the back off the line, that's one nicely there. The throw-in was actually taken there by Lindsay Smith, who's taken on the throw-in duties, but it's now driven forward, and then Ireland with the defensive work, then forcing Scotland sideways, but this is a brilliant piece of attacking play here from Scotland, getting close towards that Irish 5-metre line, quickly through the hands there of Law, coming on to pace there was the number 8 Jade Konkel, and how Scotland have missed the experience there of Konkel winning her 24th cap this evening, again through the hands, now a break here from McMillan driving for the line there, excellent tackle there from Kavanagh. But Scotland are really pressing here, and that's lifting the large contingent of home support. They're driving here, they're a metre short, as you can see, of that try line. This is a brilliant start here from the home side. They go once more, they're forced sideways by some good Irish defence, but again you can see that the back row just in position alongside Sarah Law there at scrum half. They've all gone down in a heap. The momentum has dropped ever so slightly. The ball has just spilled back there, but it can go once more, lunging for the line. And again, this is desperate Irish defence here. This is the perfect start. This is exactly what the Scotland coaching staff were hoping for. A try inside the opening 4 minutes. Clare being the perfect start for Scotland.
Definitely, that's exactly what they'd be hoping for. They held the Irish at the start there and then managed to get down into Irish territory. And that's exactly how they'll want to continue.
Shade Munro there, absolutely delighted with that. And it was really made initially by the break of Jade Konkel. And it was all then about maintaining the pressure, and not once, not twice, but 3 times they made attempts to nudge their way over the line. It was Konkel, perhaps fittingly given that she made the initial break, that finishes things off for the opening score of the evening.
Yeah, definitely, she'll be happy with that. First game back after 7 months out, and to score the first try, she'll be very happy.
Sarah Law then of Murrayfield Wanderers and Edinburgh University, her 26th cap this evening, and she'll be looking to add the extras. Remember, it is a rather slippery surface here, this artificial pitch, but she makes no mistake with the kick there. It's straight and true, and it's a converted score for Scotland, and for Shade Munro and the Scotland coaching staff, they'll be delighted. The perfect start.
Definitely, they'll be very happy with that. The girls went through the phases just how they'll ask them to go through the phases, and they'll have got the result they wanted.
And of course, Ireland coming into this game having lost 3 matches in November against Canada, England and New Zealand, so they're looking to end a disappointing run of results of late. Of course, Scotland also, we mentioned the game against Spain, they did win against Aylesford recently as well, so that in itself has lifted confidence, you would think. Yeah,
that would give the girls a lot of confidence. Prior to the Six Nations as well, Ireland played Wales in a warm-up game and got beat by Wales, so Ireland should be trying to come back from that, but the girls are doing really well to hold them out.
Jenny Murphy knocking on there, the referee just allowing play to continue. Scotland again are playing for position downfield. Brilliant kick again. That was good vision, and using the channel, that 5 channel was empty, and setting up another line out, forcing Ireland onto the back foot, and that was good intelligent play there from the Scots.
Yeah, they're getting some good success from those kicks into the corner.
You can see there Ireland's coaching staff, Tom Tierney himself, 8 caps as an internationalist, former of Munster and Leinster, watching on. He's got plenty to chew over just at the moment. So Leah Lyons then throwing into the front of that line. We were talking about Leah Lyons, born in Cork, 2nd cap this evening for Ireland. And they're just trying to drive their way forward now, forcing Scotland back. This has been a decent line out there from the Irish, and Hughes goes in once more, feeding the ball to Stapleton. Now the angled run here from the pacey Irish back. Scotland will need to be mindful that they can create something out of nothing, Ireland. And Scotland is penalised in between that zone, between the 10 and 22 in the opposition half of the field. Amy Barrett-Theron, the referee this evening from South Africa, had spotted the infringement there and gives Ireland a bit of time and a bit of breathing space now to play for position.
Yeah, definitely Ireland will look to go to the line out because they've got some tall players in that forward pack that they'll look to exploit against Scotland.
So they've a line out just short of halfway, and Leah Lyons just asking for the ball. It's already been cleaned from the grease and the water off the pitch, and we'll see what they can do this time if they go towards the front once more or nearer the back, towards the back of the line. That's a great jump there by Louise Riley. Now, plenty of height and throw, but it was a good clean win, and Ireland again rumbling Scotland back. They're over halfway now, and they're forcing Scotland into some defensive mode here, and it's Lyons the hooker with the initial break comes back through Hughes to Stapleton again. Lovely pass inside there. Miller with the break. Alison Miller on the left wing. Through the hands again. The centre's now looking to try and link up here. This is the full back now, Coyne. Just on the edge of the 22 there. Comes to nothing on this occasion for Ireland. Mairead Coyne, maybe a little unfortunate there, but again good pressing from Scotland as they put the little box kick in. And again Ireland not able to take that out of there cleanly. They'd be looking for a quick throw in there, but again Scotland just forcing them back closer towards the Scotland 10. And again a good sequence of defensive play after Ireland had initially used the width of the pitch and then decided to kick downfield for position.
Yeah, they covered that really well there. They'll be happy with that.
Lee Lyons there, again just in position for the throw in. One or two Irish players just receiving a little bit of treatment in the opening 9 minutes of the tie, and Scotland will be delighted with that Jade Konkel try. And I think just the intensity that they've approached the opening stages, I think that's something that Shade Munro was keen to stress on a number of occasions in the build-up of to the game. He was very much talking about Scotland really trying to rise to the challenge in every match they play and take the game to the opposition early on. And you've got an inspirational character in the likes of Jade Konkel, of course a full-time professional player, winning her 24th cap this evening and leading very much from the front. So we'll see what Lyons can do this time from the throw-in. Again, going towards the back of the line, taken out nicely there. Hughes onto Stapleton. The driving run now by Neopu. Stina Neopu in the inside centre position along with Jenny Murphy. Ireland looking to recycle ball, and it's carried forward a few metres there as they go in once more with Lyons driving up towards the edge of the line. You can see there is the 22. The pass couldn't find Stapleton there. That was Ailsa Hughes' intent at scrum half, was to try and find her standoff, and again Scotland awarded the scrum. So Scotland with just under 10 minutes on the clock, they've worked very, very hard, and they find themselves 7-0 in front. It's all that the coaching staff will be saying to the players, I'd imagine, even at a stage when they can get word onto the pitch, just keep it going. They're ticking all the boxes, I would say.
Yeah, they don't want to change anything. It's just more of the same. It's all they really want to do here. Keep the ball, keep going forwards, and put Ireland under some pressure.
Sarah Law then will have the ball in hand then to roll it into the scrum. Alongside her is Ailsa Hughes. And this is an important scrummage for Scotland as they're forced back into their own 22 just at the moment, looking to try and clear the lines as Ireland putting them under a bit of pressure. Good crisp handling called for here, and that was good work initially there by Richard Malcolm, but now it comes on the left hand channel, and Ireland had Alison Miller on that left hand side. They think they're over for a score. Miller certainly made the initial break after a good solid pass there. Claire, I mean, what's your interpretation of that? Because Scotland did a lot of the hard work, but Ireland very quickly were able to feed the ball out there to Alison Miller, and she was in too much space for the Scotland defences coaches liking there, and forcing Scotland into some last gap defensive work. Now I think they've gone to the TMO. The try, well, Scotland there thought perhaps they'd maybe been able to do just enough. We'll get the chance to see this again. The try has been awarded. It's 7 points to 5, and if Scotland take their eye off the ball for a second, Ireland can punish them. Oh
yeah, definitely. They'll be disappointed by that because they did cover back. Just about need to get organised a little bit quicker. The ball just squirted out the side of that ruck there, which allowed Ireland to get on the attack. And they've got some very sharp backs, Ireland, so they'll be very dangerous off any ball.
The pass inside, and it founded Neopu, Sena Neopu, with the try, the inside centre, eventually touching down after a great break there from Alison Miller. And it's now the standoff, Nora Stapleton on the angle then, just a few metres from touch. It's a tricky conversion attempt. Remember, Ireland leading by 7 points to 5. You can see how wet tonight it is here in Cumbernauld. And that looks a pretty decent effort from here. It comes back off the uprights, an unconverted score. We've got a 2-point game, and Scotland, having done a lot of really hard work in the opening 10-11 minutes of this tie, will be disappointed to have conceded in the manner in which they have, but it does show Ireland's strength.
Definitely, they'll be disappointed by that, but they'll just have to go back up there, up the other end, and try and score another try themselves.
Scotland then from the restart. looking for a quick response here. It's all about just keeping their heads. A high restart kick is challenged well. Ireland able to win it cleanly though. And again recycling through Hughes. Again Scotland keeping a high defensive line, forcing Ireland back just to the edge of their 22, and Stapleton just kicking downfield. Right footed clearance is caught well though by the Scotland 15, Rollie. And she goes on a weaving, dancing run up towards halfway before she's caught. And Scotland will want to recycle ball quickly here. An opportunity for them just to get some possession, to settle themselves back into this game. A game the lead by those 2 points, 7 points to 5. That converted try by Jade Konkel, cancelled out a short time ago by the Ireland inside centre. And Scotland maybe just trying a little bit too hard there, forcing Ireland back, but in doing so, infringing just on the edge of halfway. And Ireland will be kicking here for position. And I'd imagine this kick-off be close to the 22, not perhaps as close as Ireland initially had hoped for, but an Ireland line out nonetheless.
Yeah, Ireland will be happy with the line out. They've had some good success off the line out, so their drive's been good. They've been good off the top. They've got some skillful backs, so they'll be looking forward to see what they can do off this.
The Lions then just taking a couple of instructions there from Lindsey Pete, who goes towards the front of the line. Again, Ireland just organising their jumpers once more. It's Rollie who gathers quickly. Now look at this, Ireland through the hands very quickly. The try scorer now, Neopu, up and is able to recycle quickly towards Murphy. All of a sudden Ireland have managed to find some space on that left hand channel. Miller with the initial break comes back inside once more. Lovely little hands there, taken on there by Fitzpatrick, the Ireland captain, up towards the edge of the 22. Ireland looking to recycle quickly, taken on by Malloy. Now onto the right wing is Kavanagh, driving run here. Scotland forced back to within about 7 metres of their own try line just now. Back infield through quick hands from the number 9, and again Fitzpatrick is leading the line well for Ireland at the moment. They have their tails up after scoring. They're driving Scotland back. They're so close now to that try line. Scotland just having to control themselves at the moment defensively, as the referee has a quick look there. The momentum of this Ireland drive has just dropped ever so slightly, as there's a heap of Irish players just trying to get control of the ball just now. Scotland trying to control their defence. And Ireland again, it's the number 8 breaking, and it's over the try line as they've been able to touch down cleanly for Fitzpatrick. The referee says it's been held up there. Again, a brilliant Irish break, but some very good defensive play there from Scotland, showing great determination. And you can see Paula Fitzpatrick rather disappointed that from her point of view that came to nothing.
Yeah, Scotland will be happy, Sarah Law getting in there and holding that ball up. They'll be a little bit disappointed. At the start of the game they were pushing Ireland back when they were defending, and now Ireland are just making that bit of ground. They'll just need to get in tight together and have a chat and look to be more attacking in their defence.
So a set piece here, an important set piece as well at this stage in the match, with Scotland having taken the lead and Ireland pegging them back to 7-5. It's finally poised just now, but Ireland certainly bossing the exchanges just at the moment, and they will have the put into the scrum. Hughes then just gets into position. You can see that Kavanagh is poised as well if she's going down the blind side. Scotland have got to try and hold this scrum if they can. Ireland now, their forwards are trying to control it just at the base, but the referee again has just put whistle to mouth and spotted the infringement there. And Scotland will be happy that they aren't disrupting these Ireland scrums on occasions, not necessarily all the time, but they are getting the upper hand on occasions in the set piece.
Yeah, definitely they'll be happy with that, because Ireland, they're a big pack and it's going to be really hard to stop them, but they're doing really well in this first half and holding them out and disrupting their ball.
This is where it's rather exhausting for the Scotland players when they're protecting their own line. They're protecting the lead at the moment as well, as they go in for another set piece. Again, Hughes in position alongside her Sarah Law. Law the more experienced at international level, but Hughes looking to try and make that number 9 jersey her own. You can see the drive there from Fitzpatrick at number 8, the Irish captain, trying to control the ball with her right foot just now. They're getting closer towards that line. Ireland, they collapse down, and as Fitzpatrick again being able to put some downward momentum on that ball for the score. Again, the referee saying that's been held up. And again, you know, Scotland working very hard, but you can see Fitzpatrick, she wanted to make that her own, as the referee has gone to the television official, and it will be down to him to make the decision on the outcome of this latest phase of play. Claire.
Definitely, that Ireland will be very happy with that scrum going forwards, controlling it at the back there.
So we wait patiently on the interpretation then of the assistant that's up watching the television monitor. I think it's John Welsh who has that role this evening. So he'll give the signal down to the South African referee, Amy Barrett-Theron, as soon as he's satisfied with the images coming back. The TMO's instructions now been passed to the referee. She's going to have a word with certainly one of the Scotland players very briefly. But again, I mean, that's a positive break for Scotland, because that could well have turned into another score for Ireland. They were close to conceding there, but again, Scotland defence doing very well. Yeah, definitely Ireland were going forward and in control, so they'll be happy to have disrupted that at the back of that scrum there and to force that knock on. So Ireland again, just going 5 metres from the Scotland line. A lot of pressure just on Ireland at the moment to finish this off, but Scotland too will be, they'll be certainly looking to try and get the ball up the other end of the park, having started so brightly with that Jade Konkel score, but having to do a lot of the defensive work. And I guess this is very much what you train for. It's not all about just simply scoring the tries. It's about obviously doing a lot of hard graft to prevent these situations when you have the opposition time after time after time pressing with these scrums so close to your own line. Yeah, the girls have done a lot of work on fitness and stuff, so that they can keep going in these situations and defend for as long as they have defended. Well, they won that one against the head, but it's gone again, and Ireland very quickly through the hands of a 2-on-1 situation, but electing not to go with that as they cut back inside. Again, Hughes with the pass there, gathered up just at the toes by the Ireland attackers, now getting into position. That was good work there from Pete to keep that move going. The loose head prop there for Ireland. They've spread the ball all the way across to the Irish left-hand side now. This is desperate stuff again here from Scotland, but again, they've won some excellent turnover ball here, and a chance for them perhaps to clear their lines as the forwards get up towards that Scotland 5 metre line once again. This will delight Shade Munro and the Scotland's coaching staff. We mentioned already about their attacking prowess in the opening stages, but defensively they've been very, very sound. And there's the clearance kick from Helen Nelson. It's gathered up though by our opposite number, Stapleton. Now Kavanagh, the right winger, just in the central position just now, finds the Irish try scorer. An opportunity for Murphy at outside centre, but a great Scotland tackle coming in there from Rhona Lloyd just to slow things up. And Ireland again recycling very quickly. Ciara Griffin going into the initial contact. Ireland looking to recycle once more. They're very vocal, and the Irish just at the moment just trying to ensure that they can finish off. This will be rather frustrating for Ireland if they have another attempt at the Scotland line that comes to nothing. And Ireland again lunging to that line, but against Scotland doing everything to try and keep the Irish from scoring a second try. Again, that appears to have been held up there across on that far side. Last to get up onto her feet is Leah Lyons, the Irish hooker this afternoon, winning her second cap, I should say, this evening. Of course, we're into the early evening here at Cumbernauld at Broadwood Stadium, home of Clyde Football Club, who themselves were 3-2 winners against Stirling Albion in the Scottish Cup on Tuesday night. And Scotland, they'll be hoping for something that would be considered, I suppose, with all due respect to the Scots, a bit of an upset if they were to turn over Ireland here, but that's exactly what they're preparing to try and do. Yeah, definitely. Scotland definitely don't go into the game favourites, but they'll be in this to cause an upset. Every game in the Six Nations, they'll be looking to try and get that win. Hughes gets the signal once again. Another scrum 5. They're coming with increasing regularity now, as Scotland this time infringing there, and Ireland just waiting patiently. But I think for Tom Tierney and the Irish point of view, they'll be disappointed they haven't finished off one of these chances. They've had several opportunities within 5 metres off the Scotland line, and Paula Fitzpatrick just having a quick word with the referee there. This, you can see that it's beginning to take its toll just on the Scotland players. The amount of defensive work they're having to do. They're just wanting to obviously try and win back possession and try and release some of that pressure by clearing downfield, but that is easier said than done against a very accomplished Irish forward line. Yeah, definitely.
they're under a lot of pressure here, and they'll be looking to try and turn this ball over and get a kick away and try and play some of the game further up the pitch rather than a 5-metre line.
We've got a glimpse there of Shade Munro, the Scotland coach, watching on, rather pensive expression on his face. This is maybe an important time as well for Scotland, just to take a water break as well. There's the Irish coaching staff. Tom Tierney there still chewing away furiously in the middle of the picture, watching on his side, still trailing by 2 points, but yet another set piece on the Scotland 5. We've played the opening quarter of the game. It's been thoroughly entertaining. Remember, this is the first of a double header this evening, with the respective under-20 sides taken to the field shortly after the conclusion of this one. Again, the referee though is not entirely satisfied with that set piece, so she just does another word with the respective front rows, gets herself back into position. Again, Ireland will have the put in. Ailsa Hughes, she's had a good opening 21 minutes for a first cap in an international, you'd have to say, the Irish scrum half.
Yeah, she has. Ireland will be happy with how she's played. Her distribution's been really good off the line-outs. She's been really well played for them.
Of course, Ireland without Niamh Briggs, she's watching on. Paula Fitzpatrick, as we mentioned, with the armband. And Ireland have got quite a bit of experience on the bench, but of course Heather Lockhart as well, 84 caps for Scotland, one of the replacements, 8 replacements for each of the sides. And no doubt we'll see a few changes made in due course as well, when both sides look to freshen up their respective teams out in the park. But you can see it's still a very, very wet night here in Cumbernauld. If you're tuning in from around the world, we're just east of Glasgow. This is the opening round of the RBS Six Nations. Ireland women trailing Scotland women, as you can see, by just 2 points, but they're on the attack at the moment. Again, Stapleton with a pass inside, but again, once more, the centres denied here as Ireland recycle very quickly through the hands of Stapleton. Now it's a chance for Ireland, and it's a chance for Alison Miller. She's not going to be denied on this occasion. An Irish left winger scores their second try of the match halfway through this first half, and it's Alison Miller receiving the ball from her fullback Coyne. It looked as if Coyne could perhaps finish it off herself. Watch this again, the pass, the two half-backs linking up well, acres of space there for Coyne, but unselfishly playing the ball to her left wing, Alison Miller, and it's Miller who's in for Ireland's second score.
Yeah, Scotland will be disappointed with that. They'll be happy that they've held them out for so long, but they'll be disappointed to let them in the corner there.
It makes for another tricky conversion attempt from out wide. A very similar position. Nora Stapleton faced up in a similar angle to this when the initial try was scored by Neopu earlier on in the half. But this again is going to be a tricky kick for the Irish standoff.
Yeah, it will be a tricky kick. She wasn't too far away the last kick. Scotland will be happy that she's having to kick from out wide. It'll keep the game tighter for Scotland.
Scotland give chase again. She's just short of the uprights this time. Her last effort coming back off the upright. Very accomplished kicker, but unsuccessful in 2 occasions just at the moment. So it does keep for a nice tight match as we go into the 24th minute, with Scotland trailing by 10 points to 7. And one of Ireland's try scorers, Senna Nayopu, just receiving a little bit of treatment there, gives the thumbs up that she's good to go once more. And Scotland will have the restart, and they'll just want to settle themselves down here. Chance for them to win back possession if they can challenge this high restart kick placed there by Hughes. The clutch of Scotland and Ireland players underneath the ball, but it comes back through the hands there of Hughes. Again, Stapleton getting into position for Ireland, but that was won nicely there by Griffin in the back row through the hands of Stapleton. Now out on the flank again is Coyne, making a real nuisance of herself as she's forced into touch there just before she was able to breach the halfway line and get into Scotland territory once more. Scotland's defence has to be very mobile just at the moment, as Ireland are using the width to good effect.
Yeah, Ireland are using the width really well. Scotland covered that really well. Lisa Thomson coming over and stopping that final pass and putting the ball into touch.
Senna Nayopu there, I think it picked up just a little nick to the lower lip, receiving a little bit of treatment there, and it's a chance now for Rachel Malcolm of Lichfield. Our first start, as we mentioned, just 25 years old, throwing in. In fact, of course, it's Lindsey Smith taking over the throwing duties, but it is Malcolm who is wearing the number 2 jersey. That's a long pass played back. Malcolm is able to receive it from the back of the line. We'll get Claire's thoughts on Scotland's option, just at the line-outs with the thrower in just a second. They couldn't gather that one cleanly, but in the second attempt, it comes back to Helen Nelson. And Nelson carries it just over halfway once more. Scotland again looking to get their second rows, McCormack and Wassell, into position here as they now feed it back to Lisa Martin at captain inside centre. She put boot to ball there, and Ireland are having to do a bit of backpedaling as Scotland now have got Ireland back inside their own 22. It's been a wee while since Scotland have been inside Ireland 22 territory, but that was good play there from the skipper Martin. Again, a good clean strike, trundling just into touch there, and there's not an awful lot that Murray Coyne could do about that.
No, that was a very good option from Scotland there. It was a good kick to put it into touch to that bottom corner. Scotland will be happy with that.
Yeah, we mentioned there that obviously Scotland have got Tracy Balmer, Rachel Malcolm and Lindsey Smith as the front three, but it is Lindsey Smith of Hillhead, Jordanhill, who's throwing in at the line, with Rachel Malcolm sitting just at the back of the line out.
Yeah, Lindsey Smith used to be a hooker, so she's had a lot of experience in throwing the line out. Might just be to take a bit of pressure off Rachel on her first start in the front row, which is probably a good option, especially when you've got Lindsey Smith who can throw quite consistently as she has been.
Just playing to the strengths, Shade Munro and the Scotland team at the moment. As Claire was saying there, Rachel Malcolm, her first start, only her third cap. And Scotland now just looking to try and maintain some pressure here on Ireland, but it's Ireland showing the power of their forwards again. It comes back now to the halfbacks. It's cleared downfield there over the head of Megan Gaffney. Gaffney's able to pluck it out of the air though. And Gaffney now a weaving run, eventually slowed up by Lindsay Peat, but that was good work there by the Scotland right winger. They want to quickly recycle here. Law then taking the ball on is McMillan. Louise McMillan, another of the Hillhead Jordanhill players, quickly through the hands. Scotland now able to spread it wide and looking for their centres to do some damage as Lisa Thomson takes the ball into contact area, slowed up just inside Ireland territory, and Sarah Law just in behind. That's good passage of play there from Scotland as Ireland are penalised just short of their own 10-metre line there. And Scotland again just trying to do very much what Ireland are doing as well, using the kicks to good effect, but again spreading the ball through the hands of some experienced and talented players, the likes of their captain Lisa Martin and Lisa Thomson at outside centre. Yeah,
they'll be really happy there. They moved the ball really well from one side of the pitch to the other side of the pitch. It's a very wide pitch as well, so it's also good that they can do that. They'll be happy that they forced Ireland to kick the ball away when Ireland had the ball in attack.
And Scotland will be settling into this as a home environment as well, because they've played previous rounds of the Six Nations when they've had home matches. And RBS Six Nations time, they've played games here. Ireland have played here before. Ireland of course clinched the Six Nations Grand Slam 2 years ago here with a rather convincing win that day over Scotland. So Scotland will know the surroundings very well. That must help.
Oh yeah, definitely. They'll have got used to this ground every year. It'll get much more like home every year. It's good when you're used to the pitch, you know how the ball's going to bounce. You can put those kicks into the corner and you know how it's going to roll.
Now there's some similarities here to Scotland's opening try in terms of the determination and hard work of their forward line there. And Scotland just again settling things down. We've got 12 minutes until the interval. And again, they're just going to go for a touch finder here. Sensible play. Again, as that's played into touch there by Lisa Martin. Martin then marching back rather purposefully to join her teammates, and this is going to be an important throw in here. We'll watch what happens again with Lindsey Smith taking on the throwing duties. There she is, just coming into her picture now. And of course they've got Wassell and McCormack, both the second row starting the last 18 matches, so this is respectively their 19th caps, but they're a settled lock pairing in that second row for Scotland. That's good work there by the Scots as they're driving over the 5 metre line there. They're getting very, very close to this Irish line once more. The break there was by Emma Wassell, and she was caught just a couple of metres short of the line. Now through the hands, good set piece play there. Helen Nelson just was caught in two minds as what she wanted to do there, the Scotland standoff, but quickly back there to Law. Law on there to Balmer. Balmer, the loose head prop, decided she was going to make a break for the line there, but was caught in a clutch of green Irish jerseys. Now Scotland trying to do what Ireland have been doing to Scotland for much of the half, and with great success and delight, Scotland are over for their second try of the match. Anything Ireland can do, so can the Scots, it would seem, here at Broadwood this evening, and Scotland are back in front, and that was all about the initial control and good kicking there of their captain Lisa Martin, but their forwards to great effect, scoring a second try. A wonderful score for them, and they're back in front.
Yeah, Scotland will be really happy with that, but a good line out, keeping it in tight, managing to recycle the ball really well.
You can see here again, they're just desperately trying to find gaps in the Irish defence, and it was a terrific low drive there that gave Scotland the opportunity of the try. Jade Konkel, I mean, what a contribution. We've talked about in previous internationals she's made, but I think her coming back into the reckoning after 7 months out with a shoulder injury and you know, very much going full contact must give the rest of the Scotland squad a great deal of confidence.
Yeah, Jade's coming back will be massive for the girls. It's a good confidence boost because you know she's there and she's going to carry it really hard, and she'll be really happy to get 2 tries in one game.
So Deborah McCormack with the Scotland try there, but the conversion attempt just wide by Sarah Law. So tries from Konkel and McCormack, and Scotland, well, they're back in front by a margin of 2 points. This game seesawing very nicely for the crowd, a large crowd here inside Broadwood this evening. Scotland winning that unopposed at the restart, looking to drive up towards their own 10-metre line as well. Once more, Law in position just to quickly recycle. Good hands here by the Scots, and it's a fantastic break here by the back row forward, Louise McMillan. And again, she's in position, is Law, just to feed it to her standoff Nelson. Scotland working their way backwards, but taken on there by Wassell. So McCormack and Konkel, the try scorers for Scotland. But Scotland, well, they're given the advantage there. An opportunity for them to go once more. We'll get Claire's thoughts on that in just a second as it comes back now through the hands. Good breaks from both Tracy Balmer and Louise McMillan in this first half in open play. And Scotland giving pretty much as good as they can get from an Irish point of view, and that's bound to lift the spirits of the side, because the look on, they can see there's an electronic scoreboard in the ground here just underneath where our main cameras are, and it shows that Scotland have a 2-point lead, and we're also into the last 7 minutes of the first half. So this is a great illustration of how Scotland have worked extremely hard after the disappointment of missing out on the World Cup.
Yeah, definitely. They've made massive improvements from that World Cup qualifier that they didn't manage to win. Louise McMillan there making a great break. She's another player, plays for Hillhead. We play against them, she's a nightmare to play against. You never want her running at you. Just as bad as having Jade.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. You'll know very much firsthand what they're like to play with and to play against. And the Scotland jumpers there, Emma Wassell was trying to win that one cleanly, but again, not to make too fine a point on it, as the referee has spotted the knock on there. It's a rather miserable evening, and of course, you know, it's going to affect both sides. It's going to affect the tactics of both sides, as Shane Munro will be a happier man now to see his side in front by the 2 points. He must be extremely happy with how his side have approached the opening 33-34 minutes of this game. 6'7", and he even looks very tall. Another set piece. Ireland this time will have the put in. Hughes herself having a very good first half, having plenty of opportunities to show what she can do at the set piece as that collapses before she's able to pop the ball into the scrum. And this is the scrum on Ireland 10. Many spectators are sheltered here at Broadwood from the elements, but a few have chosen some multicoloured headwear just to lighten up the stand just in front of our commentary position. A few umbrellas as well being sported by those that are just at the front, making their way to seats a bit further back, perhaps going for an early half-time tea or coffee. As that's rolled in by Hughes to the set piece, held rather solidly there by Scotland, picked up by number 8 Fitzpatrick, back now and again taken on there at pace by Neapu, one of the Ireland try scorers alongside Alison Miller. But this attack for Ireland just coming to nothing at the moment, and Scotland with some brilliant turnover ball. That's really cheered the home supporters now as Scotland tried to make headway through outside centre. Lisa Thomson winning her 8th cap this evening, cuts back inside, and again Scotland just working the position at the moment. In behind is Sarah Law, feeds the ball out again to her standoff Nelson. Going into contact once more is Jade Konkel, happy at any opportunity to show that she's back to full fitness after 7 months out. Good work there by Law, just denying the pass to her teammate just for a second there before going into contact as Louise McMillan again just takes it round the side. In behind again is Tracy Balmer. Ireland not rolling away, and Scotland are lapping this up at the moment. They're putting Ireland under a great deal of pressure here, and this will be an interesting choice here. Lisa Martin now, I'm looking on, I think she's going to go, she is indeed, for the posts, and well, she herself is an accomplished kicker, but you've also got to bear in mind, with it being a very slippery surface, you've got to be sympathetic to kickers even when it's an opportunity like this straight in front of the six on a calm night.
Oh yeah, definitely, it's a slippy night. You've got to watch that stand on foot, it doesn't slip at all. I think it's Sarah Law that's going for the kick here.
Sarah's been taking certainly the place kicks from the 2 tries, the 2 conversion attempts. So she's almost level between the 10 and the 22, fairly central. All eyes now peeled on Sarah Law, her 26th cap this evening. Here she goes then. A crisp right foot strike. Now, is that good enough? Is that good enough? It is! It's another 3 points for Scotland. It's another cause for celebration for the Scotland supporters there, balloons and all. It's Scotland 15, Ireland 10 as we approach half time.
Scotland will be very happy with this first half. They'll be happy if they can hold on to this lead going into the half time as well.
So Ireland then with the restart, and Jade Konkel has been awarded that second try for Scotland. There was some deliberation over whether it was Deb's McCormack, but Jade Konkel with the 2 tries for Scotland in this first half, and it's a first half with only 3 minutes remaining, and Scotland are protecting this margin of 5 points as they're outside their own 22 at the moment, looking to quickly recycle back in field. Again, Law is in position, just calling the shots, comes back now and is cleared downfield but doesn't find touch. Is gathered up there by Coyne at fullback for Ireland, onto the standoff. Stapleton quickly through the hands now of the centres, and an opportunity now for Miller, Alison Miller down this left hand side, but a great tackle there coming in from Megan Gaffney, just slowing things up. Comes back now through the hands of Stapleton, just outside the 10-metre line once more. It's gathered in there cleanly by Rollie. She had to stoop down. Rollie and Fitzsimmons in the second row for Ireland, and Rollie winning a lot of ball in the line out, but Ireland are penalised once again. And Claire Bain, I mean, that is exactly what Scotland are hoping for at this stage in the match when they're not in possession of the ball. If they can't put Ireland under pressure themselves, what they are obviously wanting to do, and what they're hoping for, is the conditions to maybe lend them a hand, and Ireland making some unforced errors.
Yeah, definitely. The conditions tonight are not ideal for running rugby, with the rain making the ball quite slippy. Scotland will be hoping that that'll hinder Ireland's attacking backs.
Lindsey Peat just sorting out her laces there as she's back on her feet. Paula Fitzpatrick having a word with her referee, Amy Barrett, they're on this evening. And the South African just giving her interpretation of the latest sequence of play, as the Scotswomen just getting themselves organised again. A few of them taking a drinks break, but that's a bit of a sad sight, Claire. An injury to a Scots player who's been very influential in the first half. You look at the front row of Balmer, of Malcolm and of Smith. They've worked very well together. That's real disappointment for Rachel Malcolm.
Yeah, it's been a really good front row for them in the first half. Rachel's done really well in her first start at hooker. She's been doing really well. She'll be disappointed to come off, and Scotland will be disappointed to see her come off. And
Lucy Park has come on, so Lucy will win her second cap this evening. So a disappointing sight there for Rachel Malcolm, but she's done very well in the time she's been on the pitch, but seemed to pick up a A rather sore one there in that last phase of play. So Scotland then clearing again, a touch finder, just almost on halfway. Again, the kicking of Lisa Martin and of Sarah Law has been very intelligent in this first half, but so too Ireland using the boot to good effect as well. And an early opportunity for Lucy Park to show what she can do on the field, a matter of 10 seconds. Perhaps not the straightest of throws there, but gathered in at the front of the line by Konkel, juggled a little bit there as Scotland just get away with it no more. But a chance now, that's dropped forward there by McCormack. Debs McCormack just couldn't quite gather that one in. The palms were out, but as Claire was saying there, it's a slippy ball, Claire, on a night where there's been a lot of rain on what was otherwise a very dry pitch. It's been dry for most of the day here in Cumbernauld on the outskirts of Glasgow, and that just makes it that little bit more skiddy and slidey, and the ball really does turn into a big bar of soap.
Yeah, it definitely does. It was dry right up until the end of the warm-ups, and then it started to rain, which is a little bit disappointing because it would have been nice to see both Scotland and Ireland with some clean ball and see what they could do.
The applause you can hear in the background for Rachel Markham as she makes her way across the front of the main stand here, just on a stretcher, having picked up that knock. And the referee just organising the respective front rows again for another set play. This could well be the last set piece then of a first half, drawing to a close with Scotland leading by 15 points to 10. And some excellent play from Scotland. Jade Konkel with 2 tries, but the entire Scotland team having defended very well and attacked as well with good vision, as Alison Hughes plays the ball in to the set play, comes back to Stapleton again, has a look at her options, back into inside centre, on now to Miller. Alison Miller, great weaving run here from Miller, but another good tackle comes in from Lisa Thomson, just slowing her up here. Quick recycle ball on once more to the Irish captain Fitzpatrick at number 8, driving up inside that 22, quickly recycled on now to Lyons, the Ireland hooker. But she's slowed up, running into the dark blue jerseys of Scotland, who've got to maintain a good solid defensive line here. The danger of the inside centre Neapu is apparent as she's given short shift on this occasion by Scottish defence, just closing the door on the Irish 12. But again, Ireland just trying to spread the ball wide. Opportunity here as again Hughes playing the ball back infield. No, this time it's Fitzpatrick who decides she's going to barge her way, forcing Scotland defence back just a couple of metres there. Once again, Ireland's forwards just taking it in turns to try and get themselves into more attacking position here, as one of the Scotland forwards, I think last on her feet, is Debs McCormack, but she's back in position once more. Again, the Irish momentum has dropped just ever so slightly, perhaps at a crucial time. We're into stoppage time now. This will be the last phase of the game. Scotland desperately defending this lead then. A 5-point advantage they have. The referee though intervenes, blows for half time, and it's a first half belonging in no small part to Scotland. Ireland making a fantastic contribution. Tries from Neapu and Miller for Ireland, but a double for Jane Konkel, the first coming in the opening 5 minutes, the second giving Scotland the lead once more. A penalty as well from Sarah Law, who converted the opening Jade Konkel try. It's been a very entertaining first half, you have to say, from a Scotland point of view. Ireland making a very good contest of it themselves, but Shane Munro will head back to the Broadwood dressing rooms with plenty of positives, I would imagine, Claire, with a scoreline of 15-10 in Scotland's favour.
Yeah, Scotland were really happy with that, to go into half-time with a lead. It'll be a positive dressing room, so they'll be really happy and look to come back out and have more of the same.
Well, Cumbernauld is certainly famous for the filming of Gregory's Girl in 1981, but it's Scotland's women at half-time who have the advantage here at Broadwood. It's Scotland 15, Ireland 10.
This is Tartan Touch, a fun, simple way to get fit, make new friends and enjoy playing rugby.
There are 20 Tartan Touch hubs across Scotland. Simply find an event in your area that works around your schedule and come along.
I've never played rugby before. It's been brilliant. I've come down today, really enjoyed myself, got stuck in and had a great time.
There are only 8 simple rules, so you'll be playing in no time. Teams are mixed and for all levels and abilities.
Playing with people older than me has helped me develop my skills. I've improved quickly.
Rugby is a fantastic way to get fit. The more you play, the more your skills will improve and you'll get fitter with every game.
I play rugby at school, but probably not as much as I'd like to, so that's why I've joined Tartan Touch. It gives the opportunity to do it of an evening or at the weekends.
It's all about bringing people together to the best game in the world. Find out more and sign up at tartantouch.org.
Tartan Touch, a game for everyone!
Well, welcome back to Broadwood Stadium in Cumbernauld, where we've been treated up an amazing 40 minutes of rugby from the Scottish women. Currently leading Ireland 15 points to 10 at half time, and we've been served up 4 excellent tries. Jade Konkel with 2 for Scotland, and for Ireland, well, Neapu scored after 10 minutes and Alison Miller slightly later on. But these are Jade Konkel's tries. It was great work initially from Louise McMillan to break the line, and then the forwards to control the composure thereafter allowed Jade on her comeback to score her first try, and she's absolutely delighted. You can see the passion and the celebration there. Another angle here, gets low to the line, drives through the defence, and there's absolutely no way of stopping. That was a tremendous start for Scotland. Initially the defence was outstanding. They had to withstand a lot of pressure from Ireland in the opening 4 or 5 minutes when they hit back and scored that wonderful try. More highlights here. This is Ireland's first try. The ball's taken in at Sarah Law and just stripped here, just turned over, and then Ireland, quick as a flash, the attack down this left hand side. Alison Miller thought she'd got there. Brilliant tackle by Megan Gaffney, and then Seino Naupu managed to rip the ball free, twist and turn. We had to go to TMO, but there was no doubt at all that was Ireland's first try. The conversion was missed and Scotland led 7 points to 5. Here's another look at Sarah Law just taking the ball, and she got a little bit isolated in contact and the greasy surface. The ball pops out. Quick transition down the left hand side and that's a tackle by Gaffney there, but Naupu, well, she managed to twist and turn, get through the tackle of Helen Nelson and score. It was Rachel Malcolm, sorry, but just the ball slipping out her hands. And this is it. The angle the TMO had, no doubt at all. The fight and the touchdown. Scotland after this, that was in the 10th minute, and Scotland after that had to withstand a huge amount of pressure from Ireland, and they did that very, very well. There was 2 or 3 times that Ireland were held up in the line. We had to go to TMO once as well, but Scotland maintained their lead. This is an example of some of the defence from Scotland. They were under pressure at the scrum, and then this time eventually excellent tackle first at in the midfield, and the ball quickly recycled. Scotland just couldn't get wide enough early enough to stop the try scorer Alison Miller this time from Ireland, squeezing into the left hand corner. The Irish scrum has been impressive. They've put a lot of pressure on at Scotland, and this was after 10 minutes of sustained pressure in the Scottish line that they eventually made the breakthrough to score the second try. You can see just that ball being recycled really quickly. Sharp pass out to the left hand side, and Megan Gaffney just can't get out quick enough. And that was Irish second try, both in the same corner, both tricky conversions, both missed by Stapleton. And at this point it was 10 points to Ireland, 7 points to Scotland, and we had 10 minutes of the first half remaining. See the excitement, see how much it means to these players, a whole team effort. It's great to see teammates celebrating the tries. They're all work hard to score the try. Only one person can pot the ball down, but it's a team effort, and there we go. Loosehead prop congratulating the left wing on the try, and this is Scotland's second try, very similar to the first one. See Tracy Balmer making a dart for the line here. This was sustained pressure after another excellent line out, and very similar positions, similar outcome, and a similar face. Jade Konkel with her second carbon copy of the first. I tell you what, it's a carbon copy of the celebration as well, jumping for joy after 8 months out through injury. She's had a massive first half. Tracy Balmer taking it almost to the line
And then, similar to the first try, you're low and hard at the line for Jade Konkel. 3 Irish defenders can't stop her. So she's had an amazing first half. It's been an amazing first half all round as the rain comes down. 2 tries each. Scotland winning at 15 points to 10 at half time. This was followed up by a long range penalty by Sarah Law. But it's been a tremendous half from Scotland. Thank you for tuning in to Scottish Rugby TV. Wherever you are this evening, we've also got a competition for you as well. For your chance to win 2 tickets for the international between Scotland and Wales in the RBS Six Nations at BT Murrayfield on the 25th of February. Head on over to our Facebook page, leave us a comment on our competition post, letting us know where you're watching, and if you're enjoying the action, I'm sure you are, with a tremendous scoreline and a tremendous 40 minutes no doubt ahead of us. So there's a competition to win 2 tickets for the RBS Six Nations fixture between Scotland and Wales at BT Murrayfield. Head on over to the Facebook page, leave a comment and tell us where and when you're watching. So joined again by Claire. She's enjoyed the first half with Stuart McFarlane, done a great job in commentary. We've had a whistle-stop tour of the highlights there, Claire, but you must be impressed by the start, the defence and the attack in that first half by the Scotland women.
Yeah, Scotland kept the ball really well there in their first half. They'll be really happy with that, and for Jade to come back after 7 months out, she'll be overjoyed and buzzing to have scored 2 tries in her first game back.
Well, you mentioned Jade. She has, we keep going on, the only female professional rugby player in Scotland, and she's set the example. Scottish Rugby caught up with Jade early on in the week, and from this interview you'll see how excited she was, and she's carried that excitement and that form from the training field onto the turf here at Broadwood tonight.
From a Scotland point of view, is it just all about your game going into this one?
Yeah, definitely. I think, that's what we can control, and I think if we control, the controllables as such, like focus on our performance, that's the way we're going to, improve as a team as a whole, and look for the processes over the outcome each and every game. The Spain game was really tough to watch, but I was so proud of the team, like the way they played, and it was inspiring. Tonight, definitely, all guns blazing, going to find that uncomfortable place and go that 5% more. I'm going to really try and work hard and be everywhere I possibly can on the pitch and really make an impact to help the teammates out. Yeah, I think, the whole pride in the line, the aggression, the line speed, it's all coming on, and, it's something we need to, really take all guns blazing come play Ireland, and, we want to challenge them, we want to really push them, we want to make those big hits, want to hear the crowd, make that noise, and I think we need to go in there, believe that we're going to make those hits, be effective, and, just have that whole tough mindset and really, really be tenacious around it. When we go out and play against Ireland, we want to focus on our game, and we want to, work on what we can. We want to, set ourselves goals and reach those goals, and that's before we look on to the next game. I want to be a one game focus and then move on to the next. And if we improve our performances each time, then that's half the battle won.
Well, as we said, you knew Jade was excited. She certainly was. She sets the standards in training, and she's recovered from that long-term injury. She's set the standards so far in this opening 40 minutes at Broadwood this evening. She's scored 2 tries for Scotland. Scotland women lead Ireland women 15 points to 10, and it really has been an enthralling opening half of Six Nations rugby. Following this, we've got Scotland under 20 versus Ireland under 20 kicking off at 8:30. We'll bring you that live on Scottish Rugby TV, and we're looking forward to that one as well. And don't forget, tomorrow, well, it's a big one at BT Murrayfield. Scotland's opening game against Ireland in the RBS Six Nations. Who knows how it'll turn out? It'll be a close game, but we'll all look forward to that one. And sad pictures there, see Rachel Malcolm injured just at the end of the first half and crutches, an ankle or a lower leg injury. Certainly disappointing to see. She, in her first start, had a very good opening 38-39 minutes, just injured towards the end of the first half. But Ireland are coming back onto the field. Scotland lead 15-10. Let's hope they can go and do it. I'm going to pass you now back to the commentary with Stuart McFarlane and Claire Bain.
Many thanks, Chris. Yes, Ireland first onto the Broadwood turf then for the second half. Of course, this is one of 3 home matches for Scotland here in this RBS Women's Six Nations Championship. On the 24th of February, they're back here to play Wales. And then on the 17th of March, Scotland face Italy. Of course, that's a rather good date in Scottish rugby history, with Grand Slam championships coming in previous years, 84 and in 1990 on the March the 17th. Quick word with Clare Bain before Scotland come out. Clare, what is rather interesting, there's been 25 previous matches between Scotland and Ireland. Scotland were very dominant, winning the first 14, and Ireland have won the last 11. So there's a perhaps there's a run here that's going to end this evening if Scotland can produce something matching their first half performance in the second 40 minutes.
That's a definite hope. That's what they've been hoping for the last, I think it's 10, it's been a while since they won a Six Nations game, so that's the hope that they can this year win the first Six Nations game for a while.
Of course, Scotland this evening as well have 11 BT Sport Scottish Rugby Academy players selected in their squad. Ireland, it appears, have made a couple of replacements. I can see that Elaine Anthony is on the park as well, sporting a red scrum cap. So Ireland, like Scotland, forced into some changes at the interval. Chris mentioned the sad sight of Rachel Malcolm making her way down the touchline on crutches as we get the second half underway, and immediately Scotland pressing. This restart kick there with Emma Wassell leading the line comes through the hands of the Irish, though just outside their own 22, looking for some quick recycle ball here. Hughes then onto standoff Stapleton, quickly through the hands there of Niapu, the inside centre. Good break here from Ireland. Niapu getting it back once more. The pass looked more than a shade forward there as Mairead Coyne was trying to accelerate down the Irish left-hand channel, but the referee was up with play, and that Irish break comes to nothing there. But straight from the restart, Scotland did challenge. You can see the pace and ability of the inside centre, Senna Niapu, but there, that was the pass there when it started to go astray there from an Irish point of view, clearly forward, and Ireland's fullback there was stopped in her tracks. Ireland there, Fitzpatrick, you can see in the right of the picture, the Ireland captain, and number 8, rain still driving down over the skies of Cumbernauld this evening. But Scotland certainly got their tails up at the moment as Sarah Law feeds that ball into the scrum, but Ireland are driving the scrum back just now. Scotland, though, picked up by the number 8, Jade Konkel, looking for a hat-trick of tries, working it up towards that 10-metre line. Scotland again looking for some quick recycle ball, comes through the hands now. The support of the forwards is going to be vital at this stage in the game as well, as they're trying to build through the phases. Scotland, Law again just gets in position once more, of course, of Murrayfield Wanderers and Edinburgh Accies, and Edinburgh University as well, of course. And now we'll see what Sarah Law can do here. Well, the referee intervening, not for the first time in the match. Ireland not rolling away there. Scotland are pressing there. And again, from a set piece, they found themselves beyond the Irish 10-metre line. And with their kicking ability of the likes of Lisa Martin, this could prove dangerous for Ireland.
Yeah, Scotland will be looking to repeat their first 2 tries in the first half here with a good kick down into the corner, and see if the forwards can do the same again.
A lovely kick there from Lisa Martin. You can see that last phase of play there, taken into crash ball was Karen Dunbar in the back row of the RHC Cougars there. And now a chance for Lucy Park, who was on for the first half all of a minute before the interval, but already got herself involved in the action with a short-stabbed line out to Konkel. What's she going to do this time with the line? Let's have a look. She goes towards the middle of the line. Rising highest there was Debs McCormack, one of the Aylesford Bulls players. Of course, Scotland did defeat Aylesford Bulls a short time ago as well in a warm-up for this match, but running into problems there. Helen Nelson taking the ball into contact just on the edge of the 22. Helen Nelson herself the player of the match against Spain, and I think it was the first leg of the ties against the Spanish in the World Cup qualifiers back in the autumn. So some accomplished performances by the Scots in recent times, and again Clare another set piece with Ireland having to put in just on the edge of their own 22, but Scotland starting the second half in much the same vein as they did the first.
Yeah, Scotland are starting really well. Ireland are looking sharp as well. They had some nice hands off the kick-off, and their defence has been really good here off the line out, so it's going to be a tight second half, I think.
Hughes unable to feed the ball into the scrum as our referee Amy Barrett Thoron from South Africa just breaking up the front rows once again. And spectators, of course, will be looking forward to a second instalment of live rugby here at Broadwood this evening, with the Scotland under-20s up against the Irish under-20s, their Ireland counterparts, here for their opening fixture in the calendar, and that will follow shortly after the conclusion of this game. But Scotland, the players just patiently watching on Ireland's backs as well, in position, as Hughes will be given the signal once more to feed the ball into the scrum. Alongside her is Sarah Law, Edinburgh University and Murrayfield Wanderers player. And again, Hughes just finally able to feed it in. It's picked up there by Paula Fitzpatrick, was under a bit of pressure there and couldn't make any great headway into the great green plane that was in front of her. It was closed off very quickly, and Ireland now forced to their right hand side as the Scotland defence. Again, Chris quite rightly pointing out the strength of the defence in his half-time analysis. Ireland putting boot to ball there, and that was Stapleton just forced into the clearance kick, and Scotland will have a line out inside Ireland territory, and again not in possession of the ball, but very much aware of what they can do by putting Ireland under pressure, forcing them into releasing from the clearance kick, a rather rushed kick into touch, and Scotland now have the throw in inside Ireland's 22.
Yeah, Scotland have done well with that, even through the first half as well, and continued it into this half. They've put Ireland under a lot of pressure, and they've kicked a lot of ball away when they've been in attack.
Comes now, this time it's Wassell that got a strong right hand to it, and Scotland were able to gather as another difficult ball to scoop in, but Law now feeds it once more to Nelson, and against Scotland just trying to force their way inside Ireland 22 territory once more. This time McMillan takes the ball on, receiving it from Law at scrum half. Law's in position once more, again uses Nelson as the outlet. Nelson just on the angle inside 22 territory, looking for quick recycle ball. Once more Law feeds the ball on. McMillan, again McMillan and Tracy Balmer, very good runners here, taken on this time by Balmer, couldn't quite gather the ball in there. Gaffney leaping on the ball, but it was knocked on by Tracy Balmer, the loose head prop. Not coming to nothing, perhaps the commentator's curse, talking about how good she's been offensively gathering the ball in, but rather slippy on this occasion, and just under pressure there from good defensive work by Jenny Murphy, the Irish outside centre, knocking the ball forward and just relieving a bit of Irish pressure.
Yeah, Ireland have been doing really well in this first half. They've been sharp in attack and defence. Scotland kept the ball well there. They were just unlucky to knock that on, but that's maybe just something to do with the weather, perhaps.
Yeah, pressure on the Irish, we should say, of course, because it's inside their 22. But of course, as Claire Bain rightly pointed out, that ball, well, Claire, I mean, you've played in conditions similar to this, many of us have, and it can sometimes be a leveller, but it makes the ball that bit more unpredictable. We'll get Claire's thoughts in a second as Paula Fitzpatrick now with a great break up towards halfway. Scotland's defence stretched, but is able to regroup as it comes back more. Stapleton then feeding the ball out once more to Murphy, putting boot to ball. The angled kick, that's a very intelligent one. It bounces, it trundles into touch inside the Scotland 22. Scurrying after it there was Sarah Law, but she was unable to take the quick one, and that was agonisingly close to staying in play there, Claire. But it just at the last minute trundled into touch. It was an excellent measured kick there by the Irish. Once more from the set piece, we can see here the break from Paula Fitzpatrick, and you can see real determination on her face, looking for her options to try and offload. But here is the excellent crossfield kick. It was juggled before release there, and watch this. We thought perhaps the amount of water in the pitch would keep it from going into touch. Perhaps on another surface that might have done, but that was great work there from Jenny Murphy. Both the initial break she made, but the brilliant crossfield kick. We get a glance at Jenny Murphy there just now as Ireland make another replacement with Considine coming on, number 23 for Ireland. Emir Considine taken to the field. But Scotland, well, they've weathered the opening 7-8 minutes, and again you'd say they would have, by their own admission, the upper hand in the opening exchanges of this half.
Yeah, Scotland will be very happy with how they've come out for the second half. They've defended well. It'll be interesting to see how they get on here, see what their exit play is.
Lucy Park then, a pressure throw in for her. Her two throws so far have been in the opposition half of the field, but a bit further down. In fact, one was in the Ireland territory, right inside Scotland's 22 now. And again, Scotland in very quickly here as Ireland are pressing. They're looking to try and win back some ball, but Scotland look to protect it very nicely as well as they're forced wide towards that touchline there. Scotland then just peeling back infield. And again, good work there from Konkel as the initial breakaway runner. In goes Sarah Law, tries to wrestle the ball away. You can see Law trying to get hands on the ball, but the referee intervening, and Scotland will be awarded the put in at this latest set piece. But it's all about Scotland keeping the concentration at this stage. Ireland themselves will look at this and will be wanting to seize an opportunity and make Scotland pay.
Yeah, Scotland will be really looking to put in an 80-minute performance today and not let their tempo drop, keep the game played at a high pace, keep the ball here, go forwards, get out of our 22 and try and attack a bit.
Be another put in then for Scotland with Sarah Law, the ball tucked under her right arm just now. Alongside her is Ailsa Hughes of Ireland, and Law just getting into position now, waiting on the signal to roll the ball into this Scotland scrum, which has been tested but as yet hasn't been found wanting. You can see in the bottom right of our picture as well, Senna Neapu trying to direct Irish operations there. This is a good Irish charge here, but the ball forced into touch there. Ailsa Hughes had hands on the ball but was forced immediately into touch. But Ireland have been given the throw in here. Leah Lyons just wiping the towel, as you can see from the ball, but it looked as if I think one or two of the Scotland players were hoping for a different outcome, and Ireland it is who have the throw in. So Scotland will be disappointed to have conceded this throw clear, and Ireland now with a chance thrown towards the back of the line. Again, good work by the second rows of Riley and Fitzsimmons, but the referee puts whistle to mouth as Scotland there, Karen Dunbar clapping the hands, trying to gee up her teammates, keep the concentration and ensure that Ireland don't come away from this sequence of play with anything here. A clean jump there, aided of course as Riley jumped highest there. But the referee intervening once more. It'll be another line out for Leah Lyons to throw in.
Yeah, this will be an important moment for Scotland. They'll really want to keep them out here and not let them in. If Ireland get a try here, they might get their tails up and try and get back at them.
Leah Lyons again aiming for Riley. And again the referee immediately stops the action, puts whistle to mouth. And this is coming at a crucial time. Ireland now beginning to test the resolve of the Scots here, especially in the lineouts.
Yeah, definitely this is a tough moment for Scotland. Just going down a player now as well, it's going to be even harder.
Lindsey Smith shown a yellow card there, so she'll have 10 minutes in the bin. So this makes it doubly difficult for the Scots, protecting a 5-point advantage. All the points coming in the first half. If you're just tuning in to Scottish Rugby TV, this is live coverage of the opening RBS Women's Six Nations match, Scotland against Ireland, Broadwood Stadium in Cumbernauld, 10 minutes into the second half, with Scotland taking that 15-10 lead into the interval, and they've protected it thus far in the second period. Ireland kicking to touch there. It'll be another line out for Leah Lyons to throw in. Just a replay of that last sequence. The referee going to her pocket and showing the yellow card to the Scottish front row player. So Scotland down a player for the next 9 minutes or so, as again Lyons just down the right hand corner, as many of the spectators watching on from the main stand here. And Scotland have got to just keep their heads here, keep a controlled defence as Ireland beginning to peel away. The momentum is taking them over the line. Are they over for the score? The referee having a good long look while she says that's been held up. Be interesting to get the interpretation there. But certainly the initial sign from the referee suggested that had been held up. She's gone to her assistant referee near side.
Yeah.
And now she's heading upstairs to the TMO. Clear your interpretation of that sequence. That's going to be a mighty close decision whichever way it goes. But Lindsey Peat certainly taking the congratulations of her teammates. She thought, the loose head prop, that she'd done enough. We can see a replay of it here. The shirt almost ripped from her back, and that looks as if she's got it down cleanly with some momentum.
Yeah, that looks like she's got the ball down there. Scotland will be disappointed if the referee awards this try. They'll just need to get back up the pitch and start playing some rugby of their own.
The try has been awarded, and the Women's Six Nations Championship then. The opening encounter between Scotland and Ireland is level pegging then at 15 points all, with Ireland looking for the first time in the match to take the lead. And we'll see if they can do Stapleton then with the angled conversion inside the 22. Here she goes then. It's a clean strike, it's swinging in very well, but it's just short of the uprights there. So it's level pegging then, 15 points all, and Scotland certainly disappointed to concede the opening points of this second period, but they've worked very hard in the first 13 minutes, and Ireland themselves know they're very much in a game of it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Ireland won't be taking anything for granted. This has been a tight game the whole way through so far. Scotland have not given anything away, and they'll look to get back up there and score some points of their own in this half.
Quick restart then. Underneath it is Lindsey Peat once more. Has to guddle that one in. Again, a wet ball, rather difficult to pluck out the air cleanly. As Scotland again just trying to keep a nice tight high defensive line. Recycle ball, Hughes finds Stapleton once more onto the inside centre near Pooh, but immediately alongside there is Murphy as the outlet there. Chance once more for Ireland through the hands of Hughes. Standoff again, Stapleton heading straight into touch there. So, and again an unforced error, and Scotland will take these all day as they can use this opportunity to perhaps hit back immediately after conceding that try.
Yeah, this would be a perfect time if Scotland could sit back and score a try of their own.
Shade Munro watching on. They'll be disappointed to have seen his side clawed back, so they're back on level terms just now. But he must be extremely pleased with the effort and application of the side as they're looking to end a disappointing recent run at international level. And again, Lucy Park winning her second cap then off the bench, been very busy since coming on just before half time for the injured Rachel Malcolm. And Scotland again just getting out of a tight situation very nicely as coming on to the play there with Jade Konkel receiving the pass from Nelson. Law now feeding the ball just to her left hand side. The on-rushing Emma Wassell is challenged there. The advantage coming Scotland's way. The gap there for Law to break into that 22. Are going to recycle once more, but the referee now puts whistle to mouth, and again Scotland from that line out putting Ireland under some pressure there. Rather high challenge coming in. The referee had spotted that, allowed the advantage to continue. Scotland are opting for the penalty, going for the posts here as Sarah Law plants the ball down and waits on the tee coming on. We did mention when that ball went straight into touch, it presented Scotland with an opportunity. If they can land this penalty, they've certainly taken it.
Yeah, definitely. They'll be happy to come away with some points.
So here we are then watching on. Sarah Law lining up this penalty goal just outside the 22, nice and central. Of course you'll see football markings as well of Clyde Football Club, but this International Women's Rugby Union this evening, and that's just drifted wide of the uprights. It remains all square, 15 points all, 15 minutes into the second half here at Broadwood Stadium. The Women's Six Nations Championship opening round then for Scotland, one of 3 home matches here at Broadwood. Still to come Wales and Italy before the conclusion of this year's championship. And Ireland just taking their time over this restart. And that's a good clean clearance, but gobbled up there by Scotland in the back row of Louise McMillan, one of the flankers, alongside Karen Dunbar with Konkel at number 8. Scotland's halfbacks trying to link up. Tracy Balmer also offering herself up as an option. Comes through the hands now of the halfbacks. On now to fullback here, Chloe Rollie on this left hand side. Takes the ball forward nicely. In behind her is Law. Just on the angle. Scotland go once more. Good break there by Karen Dunbar. No outlet for Karen Dunbar this time, but feeds it again through the hands of Law Nelson very quickly. In behind them goes McMillan again once more. Just desperately trying to keep the momentum going here. The referee up with play. Scotland though not releasing on this occasion. And Ireland, well, that opportunity there from the central position between the 10 and the 22 just coming to nothing there. And it allows Ireland a bit of breathing space and a chance for them to go again. But you have to say you've been impressed with Scotland's response, having conceded that first try of the second half.
Yeah, they've attacked really well. It was really good to see Chloe really getting on the ball. She's a very exciting player when you get her on the ball. She's got some great feet. Scotland will be happy with that. They maybe didn't get the points they wanted, but they've kept the ball for a good period of time there.
Park again, just feeding the ball there, or handing it to Lee Lyons. And Park just getting into position just at the back of that line out, as Lee Lyons again just measuring the throw. I'd imagine we'll look for Riley at 5 as perhaps the lead jumper here. Fitzpatrick aiding the left there. Riley couldn't gather that one cleanly, but comes back on the Irish side, taken down nicely there by Ciara Griffin in the back row with Malloy and Fitzpatrick for Ireland. That's on the Ireland 10, you can see there. Ireland players just peeling away, allowing Hughes the chance to feed the ball just back infield, taken on by Elise Egan in the front row alongside Lindsey Peat. Now the place kick there by Norma Stapleton, very deliberate, over the head there of Rhona Lloyd. She scurries back and is able to grab the ball just on the edge of that 22. The referee just bringing play back though towards halfway. And again, Ireland looking rather dangerous, but Scotland too, when they've had opportunities to nullify Ireland's attacks, although they've conceded the 3 tries, they have done extremely well over the piece.
Yeah, Scotland have done really well in defence. They've forced Ireland back, they've forced Ireland into kicking the ball away a lot, which has just given Scotland the ball back, which is great and what the coaches would like to see.
The alliance there of Ireland receiving a little bit of treatment. We mentioned earlier, born in Cork, her second cap this evening, and a bit like Rachel Malcolm, she'll want to make an impression early on in her international career. And Claire, alongside me, you won 5 caps for Scotland. I mean, that must be a wonderful feeling when you're wearing your national colours, walking out there, being part of a Six Nations experience like this, an international match. I mean, nothing can beat that feeling, surely.
It definitely is. It's one of the best feelings that you'll ever get when you're playing rugby. It's what all the hard work's for, all the late nights, early morning gym sessions. To pull on that jersey, it's an amazing experience.
Well, this is the latest instalment of this international between these sides. We mentioned Scotland very much dominant in the opening 14 fixtures, and Ireland have won the last 11. Of course, these fixtures going back to 1993, and we're all square at the moment as Lucy Park on just before half time, looking to throw the ball in at the line out, but the referee just intervenes momentarily, separating the lifters there. I don't know if they were quite maybe a metre apart there, but they wasn't quite happy with the 2 loose head props and the positions they were in that line out. So again, Park going towards the back of the line again. That was won nicely there by McCormack, and Scotland looking to try and get the drive on. They're just on the fringes of that Ireland 22. We've played almost an hour here at Broadwood. It's level pegging. I think the stand housing the spectators, many of them Scots, would almost lose its roof if Scotland were to get themselves back in front, courtesy of some good attacking play here. But Ireland just doing enough to force Scotland to maybe over-egg the pudding on that occasion a little bit there. Last up is Jade Konkel with the ball, and that opportunity coming to nothing for Scotland. That will be frustrating, Claire, from Scotland, because you can tell in these opportunities they're sensing each and every time when they're in and around that 22 they have enough power in the forwards to force Ireland back. They've scored 2 tries courtesy of Konkel, but it's been a forwards effort on both occasions.
Yeah, Scotland will be disappointed to lose the ball there, but they've been doing really well in attack and they're in a good position here, so they'll be looking forward to getting the ball back and getting to go forward and have some attacking play.
Katie Dugan has come on for Scotland. There she is wearing number 18, so a wee tactical change there for the Scots. And I mean, this again will be a great opportunity for Katie at this stage in the match. She's still got 20 minutes to show what she can do.
Yeah, she'll be really happy to get on. It's unfortunate that she's had to get on because Lindsey's off with a yellow card, but she'll be really wanting to use this time to show Jade what she can do. Worth
reminding viewers that if you're just joining us, that Scotland have lost a player in the sin bin, with Lindsey Smith shown the only yellow card of the game so far. And that again illustrating the effort of the Scotland players when you're down an influential forward and you're still going toe to toe with a very accomplished Irish team. Definitely, they're really happy to be where they are when they've only got 14 players on the pitch and still competing up in the Irish half. Defensive scrum then for Ireland. Ailsa Hughes again just waiting in position to pop the ball into the scrum. It's certainly been a very entertaining start to the Women's Six Nations here at Broadwood. Goes once, goes twice to try and gather the ball in. Eventually Hughes feeds it on to Stapleton once more, again using the options of the centre. Scurrying in there was Jenny Murphy as Neopu was able to gather the ball in. Comes now towards the replacement player Considine, coming onto the ball there for Ireland. Back through the hands very quickly as Ireland spreading the ball from one side to the other and coming back into centre field. Now Scotland very well disciplined with the tackles coming in. Katie Dugan with an early intervention there. Ireland are unable to get some clean hands on the ball there as we watch Alison Miller falling on the ball as she was just forced to knock that one forward. There is Lindsey Smith. She'll be desperate to get herself back onto the park, having been shown the yellow card, and on behind her as well is Jade Konkel. And Scotland also making a replacement there. Jenny Maxwell coming on now, and looks as if Sarah Bonner as well winning her third cap this afternoon. So Shane Munro going to his bench now in the final 18 minutes and making some wholesale changes. The one thing to bear in mind, I suppose, Claire, is he won't want that to affect the cohesion of the Scotland unit.
No, he'll not. He'll want them to come on and make a real impact. It's a big thing about Shane is he'll want all his players to have an impact when they come onto the pitch and show why they should be there.
So Katie Dugan back off there. Sarah Law is also back to the touchline wearing the jacket, watching on as Shane Munro there in conversation. Shade and the backroom staff will be watching on rather pensively, I would imagine, between now and the conclusion of the tie. It's finally poised, 15 points all, and it's a Scotland roll in at the line out, at the scrum I should say, apologies. And there's a great break here now from Lisa Thomson. Thomson up with a lovely little offload there. Megan Gaffney couldn't quite gather the ball in there. Suddenly Ireland are able to release it through Jenny Murphy. Murphy's kick doesn't quite find touch and is gathered in this time by Rollie. Lovely sidestep from Rollie. Still she's going down the channel. Rollie, a brilliant solo run there from Rollie, but it's tackled there by Elaine Anthony. This is really lifted the home support now. It's taken on this time by Karen Dunbar. And Dunbar is just on that 5 metre line. Quick recycle ball here from the Scots. Lucy Park, low centre of gravity there, carrying the ball within 5 metres off the line. You can just see at the back of your picture there, that is the try line for the Scots. That is what they're aiming for. The 15-all match at the moment, and Scotland with their tails up. They're back to a full complement of players. They're forced just sideways at the moment, but that was a lightning break there from the Scots, and Ireland are penalised. They're looking rather tired, some of the Irish players now. Scotland with a quick tap and go. An opportunity here for Jenny Maxwell now, feeding the ball on there to Sarah Bonner. And Bonner is caught just a couple of metres short. Needs some reinforcements here. The Scots pressing. Claire can barely watch alongside me in the commentary position with 16 minutes of the match left to play. Another forwards lunge to the line is denied by some last gaps. Good organised Irish defence here. Scotland giving it absolutely everything again as Maxwell gets in position. Through the hands now, an opportunity here for the standoff, Helen Nelson. But Nelson is caught metres short of the line, just a couple of metres, as Ireland look to try and win back possession, but Scotland have done brilliantly to maintain control of the ball here. Lisa Thomson just on the angle, but the referee intervening there, forcing Ireland back, and Scotland once again will be looking for some quick ball. That was breathless action there. Plenty, I would imagine, for Chris to analyse at the end of the game, whatever the final outcome. 15-all, and Scotland, well, this will delight Shane Munro and the coaching staff. The effort, the application, the vision, the determination. And Jenny just over the ball there just now. Jenny Maxwell wearing the number 21 jersey off the bench. And the referee is going to the pocket again. As she know, I thought there was a potential of going to the pocket there, but she's signalling that Scotland are going for the post there. Well, that disappoints some of the fans that they were so close to a try that they're aiming just to get themselves back in front with a penalty goal.
Yeah, I think so. They could have gone for it. They've had some really good play. A nice break from Lisa Thomson there. Some nice dancing feet from Chloe, really making a great break. She's an exciting player when you can get her onto the ball. So it's disappointing that they've not got the try, but if they could get these points, that would be something.
Helen Nelson then. The line you can see is the 18-yard box from the football pitch. which was used the other night in the Scottish Cup tie. But this is the Scotland standoff then, winning a 5th cap this evening, and a hush descends around Broadwood Stadium now, the quietest it's been all evening. Can this give Scotland the lead once more? It's just drifting wide of the uprights there. She's disappointed as she lifts the tee off the ground. And we're still all square going into the final 14 minutes of this pulsating tie in the Women's Six Nations, the opening round. And credit to the spectators coming out on a miserable evening, because it's been wet since just before kick-off time. A break down this right-hand side. Megan Gaffney caught at the second attempt. In goes Maxwell, looking to feed the ball back inside. The forwards and backs just taking it in turns, trying to control and maintain possession of the ball. That was scooped up brilliantly there by Nelson, just off the toes. Maxwell goes in again. Scotland just keep their discipline, keep their heads at the moment. This time Tracy Balmer able to control, go into contact. She'll do that all day in Scotland colours for the Scotland cause. But the referee straight up with play, and again there's very little to choose between these sides, as Scotland, you know, some of these attacks is bound to take it out on the players. Ireland also defensively, as the referee just calls for a slight stoppage in play. I think one of the Scotland players down, receiving a bit of treatment. And there we can see the Ireland coaching staff watching on, still chewing furiously there. Tom Tierney himself, as we mentioned, 8 international caps, but I think he'll perhaps be a little bit surprised at just how much Scotland have offered for these 65-66 minutes. He did make it clear in the pre-match build-up that he would not be taking Scotland lightly, and if Ireland were to be rather complacent, then it would come back to bite them. That may well be the case. There's still plenty of time in this match for an outcome beyond the 15-all point score we have at the moment. At Scotland, they'll not want to lose any further players at this stage, Claire.
No, they're not. Emma is a big player for them in the second row. She leads the line out, so they'll definitely not want to lose her.
And that's Emma Wassell of Murrayfield Wanderers, and Deborah McCormack. Now these players coming in, they've both played the last 18 matches, so that's 19 matches. That's consistency there in the second row. And Claire, another replacement here with Tracy Balmer going off, and Scotland just trying to shore up that front row. Heather Lockett coming on, plenty of experience there. Lockett winning her 85th cap.
Yeah, Heather's a great player. She's been around for a long time. She's great to have around in the squad. She really brings on the younger players.
Jenny Maxwell then watching on, just waiting on the signal from the referee. And it's the ball then into that set play. Scotland under a bit of pressure there. Konkel at number 8 this time. Ireland very much aware of the threat of the try scorer for Scotland. A couple of tries for them. Of course, Ireland themselves have got 3 unconverted scores in the game. Scotland, though, with Konkel's 2 tries, and the first of the tries converted with Sarah Lawless adding a penalty. Scotland were leading by 15 points to 10 at the interval, but Ireland have since landed points in the second half. And another stop and play here, just interrupting the flow and the rhythm of the game. Does this suit one side over the other? Maybe suit the Scots a bit more than Ireland at the moment, although Scotland have had the upper hand in the last exchanges?
Yeah, I think it might. It'll give Scotland a chance just to regroup and to try and work out how they're going to get back up there. They had some good breaks, so they'll be looking to try and keep that tempo up high. So this will be a nice break for them just to catch their breath and get going again.
Another scrummage here. They've been well contested, the scrummages and the line-outs. And Scotland, of course, now have Jenny Maxwell feeding the ball into the scrum alongside her. Ailsa Hughes looks as if she may well see out her first cap in full. It's been a good performance by Ireland number 9, but Scotland again breaking, using the kick over the initial line of Irish defence. Oh, now I think that was a knock-on there by Mairead Coyne. The referee is now signalling that knock-on inside the 22. The applause there, and again, no real pressure. She'll be disappointed. The conditions perhaps playing a part there, couldn't gather that ball in, but Scotland was certainly making it difficult with the cross-field kick here from Helen Nelson. You see it bounced. She actually slipped as she tried to address the ball here. She watched the bounce of the ball here, just slipped ever so slightly. She was then surrounded by Scots players, but had just knocked it on a fraction, and another set piece play. And well, we mentioned some changes there. I think that is indeed Ailsa Hughes' last action as she's heading off, and on is Mary Healy for the final 12 or so minutes of the contest, alongside Scotland's Jenny Maxwell, who will have the ball in this opportunity. And Scotland pressing here, and it's, I suppose at this stage you begin to think, you know, which players have stood out, which players are perhaps going to pick up the player of the match. But we'll discuss that in a moment, as again Scotland peeling away from that scrum. Jenny Maxwell then in position, feeding the ball on once more. Louise McMillan again, determination bit between her teeth, but caught as Maxwell goes again. The standoff, Helen Nelson thought again about the kick. Oh, there's a break here for Nelson. She found a gap in Irish defence. She was right to go alone up to within 6 metres of that Scotland line. You've got to try and recycle quickly as Ireland organise the defence again. Scotland knock on at the crucial time. And it's fine margins, Claire. It's a game that's going to be decided. Fine margins, perhaps a mistake. It would be heartbreak for either side if that was the eventual outcome here. Going into 10 minutes of time left to play, both sides are going to tire certainly, but it's a game of fine margins all the way through, has been since the start.
It definitely has been. Scotland are unlucky, they're getting those breaks, they're just not quite finishing it off yet. So hopefully off something down this end that they can finish it off and get that try that they need to win the game.
Now stay with us as well, of course, on Scottish Rugby TV, because coming up after this match, the Scotland under-20s take on their Irish counterparts. But there's going to be a mighty crescendo to finish off this contest here, as Ireland under a bit of pressure again from the scrum, but they've done very well to recycle ball away from the danger zone. Coyne working very hard at full back as again it comes back to Nora Stapleton, and she gets a touch finder with Scotland. Will have the throw in just outside of the 22, and Scotland, whenever they can, are just trying to turn the screw. And you know, watching on here as again Ireland making another couple of replacements, we can see that Jenny Finlay is coming on, and also Ciara O'Connor is coming on by the looks of it as well. Ilse van Staden also, so there's 3 changes for Ireland. Van Staden, the last of the 3 to come on. She's wearing 17 at the front of the line. But Claire, we'll just get your thoughts again, just reiterating some points you made earlier. I mean, this display, this controlled display, keeping very much in the game, bossing the game for much of the time as well. You know, this is huge credit to a Scotland team that are in transition, that are trying to build steadily for the future and try and compete in this championship.
Yeah, definitely. They've made huge strides forwards, and this just proves it. You know, they're 15-all at 70 minutes against Ireland, where in previous years they've been quite far behind, so they'll be really happy with this result, whichever way it goes.
The ball just going a begging there, but again Ireland are able to steal it through the hands of Mary Healy. An early touch for one of the latest replacements there. Ireland just on the angle. Scotland wrestling for every opportunity. As again Ireland, now that's surely a knock on there from Norma Stapleton. And again Stapleton, both the Irish halfbacks that started, Stapleton and Hughes, have had pretty decent games in difficult conditions. It's pleased to say that the rain has eased slightly. It's still falling here at Cumbernauld, maybe not quite as heavy as it was earlier on in the tie. But this women's Six Nations match drawing to a close. Will we get an outright winner? It's on a knife edge at the moment. Claire is nudging further forward in her seat as she watches on. Many of these players she knows very, very well indeed, and you'll know what it'll mean to these players if they can see this out and get some result this evening.
Yeah, definitely. They'd all be really happy to get a result out of this game. It's been something they've worked towards for months and months, all the training camps. This is a good result.
Healy finds Miller there on the break. Miller, one of the Ireland try scorers, back there to Considine, just on the edge of halfway between the 2 channels, the 5 and the 15, coming through the hands of Healy once again, taken forward this time by Ilse van Staden. The last of the replacements on there, but Ireland penalised and Scotland are given an opportunity now inside Ireland territory again. What are their options here, Claire?
I don't know, they could go for the posts if they think they've got a long enough boot. Lisa Thomson, I know she can kick it a very long way, but it looks like they're going to go for the corner. Be good if they could get back down and have a carbon copy of the first half tries.
Lisa Thompson, then Lisa Martin as captain, the two Scotland centres, and that's a good clean strike as well, giving Scotland some territory here. And Scotland now down close towards that 22. It's pretty much on that 22 line, in fact just a fraction inside Irish territory. And again, Ireland jumpers, the Scots, pretty even Stevens in the set piece and the line out. Ireland have challenged their ball very well, but so too have the Scots in the second row. Wassell and McCormack in particular have jumped well, but assisted by the likes of Balmer and Smith. Scotland then going this time. It wasn't as clean as she would like there from Sarah Bonner, but Scotland will take that. She did very well nonetheless, as again it comes through the hands. Quick touch there for Nelson, not the cleanest there, as again Lisa Martin, the captain, was trying to jump on the ball, but Ireland escaping the attentions of the initial Scots defence there. Malloy with the initial break up towards the 10-metre line, and suddenly now Scotland have to get their defensive heads on here as Ireland are going to kick for position. Again Norma Stapleton with the angled kick, it bounces once and into touch, and Ireland turning defence into attack quickly there. This is an important line out here for Lucy Park and for the Scots, just to get this one right as the clock ticking down just into the last 5 minutes of the contest. And both these squads of players have served up a very entertaining match here at Broadwood Stadium this evening on a surface that the Scots will be perhaps a little bit more familiar with than Ireland. And of course a big season for Ireland as well, with the Irish hosting the Women's World Cup. Our thoughts now turn to the player of the match, as there's a half an opportunity there for Ireland, and again Konkel just is able to smother and protect the ball for the Scots. Claire, who would you be on your shortlist? That's a tough question.
It's a tough question. There's been a lot of players played really well tonight, but I think Jade stood out very well. 2 tries in her first game back. She's carried the ball well into contact.
7 months out with a shoulder injury, and Jade Konkel certainly alongside Lisa Martin leading the Scots right from the front. I think she'll be given the nod as player of the match, and rightly so. That'll be a big boost for her and for the Scots, but they'll want to protect what they have at the moment. 15-all, 4 minutes to go as the clock shows you on the top left hand corner of your screen. And here at Broadwood Stadium, the home supporters, many of them, and in fairness a lot of Irish fans here as well. We've made a lot of the voices of the home fans, but a lot of Irish supporters here. Many of them will be heading to the capital tomorrow for the international at Murrayfield tomorrow afternoon, and many of course staying for the next instalment of this evening's entertainment, the under-20s international between Scotland and Ireland, just at the conclusion of this game. But many spectators like Claire nudging their way forwards in their seats, but nails to the quick, hoping that Scotland can produce something here. Van Staden there almost getting in the way from that line out, but Ireland are pressing here. This is crucial that Scotland defend this situation now. That's rolled backwards, and Ireland again. Mary Healy is feeding the ball onto that right hand side, and Ireland driving once more into the 22 they go. Suddenly alarm bells in the Scottish defence, but Scotland have got hands on the ball. Megan Gaffney's done very well there. Scotland looking for some good clean turnover here. Now it has to be a measured kick downfield. It doesn't find touch, but Scotland now trying to scamper forward. The referee though intervening once again, just on the edge of the 22. Scotland certainly did very well to win turnover ball there, as the announcement is made that Jade Konkel is player of the match, and congratulations to Jade, but she'll want to concentrate with the rest of the Scots and not give anything away, as this is still a situation inside the Scotland 22.
Yeah, definitely they'll need to concentrate here and execute from this scrum. They're going to want to go forwards and get out of this area further up the park.
It's a scrum, it's a Scotland ball then. Jenny Maxwell with the long sleeves. The referee, Amy Barrett Theron, just in front. of the replacement Scotland scrum half at the scrum here. He's not happy with that front row. The scrum at times has been troublesome for the referee, just to ensure that the engagement's correct. But with 90 seconds to go, the Scotland supporters and Irish, I think, ready to acknowledge the performance of the players. Tom Tierney, I think it's fair to say, will be rather disappointed not to start with a victory for Scotland, though this in many ways would be a big step forward. This in many ways would be seen as a victory, given the heavy defeat they suffered at the Irish 2 years ago at the hands of Ireland. Now Scotland again breaking brilliantly there from the base of the scrum. Over the 22 they go again. Maxwell had a little look to left and a right. Now they put boot to ball. That's a better kick this time from Nelson. It bounces into touch. It's forcing Ireland back towards halfway. It's just a fraction inside Ireland territory. We're about to go red. 50 seconds of the match left to play. And Scotland just easing the pressure, dealing with that set play very well indeed. And the referee just spotted one of the Scotland players on the edge of their own 22 receiving a bit of treatment here, as Jenny Finlay is going to be throwing in for Ireland when play resumes in just a moment. But you look at that score and you look at that clock, 40 seconds, 39 seconds left before it goes red, and it's fair to say I don't know how many supporters in the ground before kick-off would have said, well, 15-all draw, or a draw, certainly a level pegging going into the final minute.
No, I don't think there would be a lot of people that would have thought that, but Scotland have come out and proved everybody wrong. They've showed how hard they've worked over the last couple of months, and it's really paying off for them.
So Scotland here watching on as Jenny Finlay on halfway. A measured throw-in required. You can see there Jenny Maxwell also in position just on the left of the screen there. And they'll need some fresh towels for the next instalment, the next match, because they'll be pretty well now. Pretty wet certainly as it's thrown in. Not maybe the straightest of throws there, but taken at the back of the line, and this is good work here by Ciara O'Connor. In behind O'Connor is Healy once more. On through Nora Stapleton. Stapleton receives it a second time. Now on the angle is Miller. This time in behind is Molloy. And the flanker looking for some space. Scotland now mindful that the clock is ticking down. Ireland are going to try and keep it down the middle if they can. Scotland will want to try and make the pitch as wide as possible as Riley takes the ball into contact. Healy in behind her again. Through the hands of the Irish once more. The opening Ireland try scorer there, Neapu, just caught shot of that 22, and again the referee signalling there. That's an important intervention by the referee. Last on her feet heading back there is Louise McMillan. Ireland's kicking hasn't been all that great. They're going to the corner here rather than kick to the posts to win the game. As you can see, the clock's gone red, so that's just in touch and no more. Now that's time up. So Claire, what's your interpretation? Is the referee's allowing, it looks as if the referee is allowing for the set play to continue?
As far as I was aware, I didn't think that was the laws. I thought time was up when the ball was kicked to the corner, so that should have been full time.
Well, some of the Scotland supporters, we're rather perplexed at this here, but the Scotland supporters will be a bit frustrated as Ilse van Staden passes some instructions on there to Jenny Finlay. And Finlay then throwing again towards the middle of the line. One cleanly there by Ireland, and Scotland have got to win some turnover ball here, or they've got to force Ireland out wide. The Ireland forwards then rumble their way within 5 metres of the line, within 4 metres of the line. It suddenly collapses. They have to watch Ireland don't splinter away. Molloy has hands on the ball. The flanker now must be across the try line. Scotland, can they hold up the Irish here? The referee again intervening, and the referee has just had a word with the Scotland players, so the drama continues, Claire.
It does indeed. I'll be interested to see what happens here.
Well, a word from the referee. The referee just explaining her interpretation of the last events here. And Ireland, there'll be a tap and go, Mary Healy. Scotland feel that the game should be done and dusted. We've played 2 minutes, as you can see, of stoppage time. Healy's over the ball for Ireland. Healy with the little tap then on there to number 18, that's O'Connor. She's just short of the line. Healy goes in once more, trying to spread the ball out wide. There's the breakaway run for Ireland and they're over for a score. How cruel is that? I think it was Jenny Murphy coming onto the ball, the outside centre. We'll see who it is that gets off the turf last there. It is Murphy, number 13. And Ireland have somehow managed to engineer a victory, take nothing away from them. They played to the very end, but when was the end? Scotland maybe feel that should have come earlier than that sequence that's allowed Ireland to score underneath the posts. It's now Ireland leading by 20 points to 15, and this is surely it now when Norma Stapleton aims to get her first successful conversion. But surely a talking point. I want to see that last sequence. But the outside centre there, Murphy, coming on to pace. And the Scotland defence on this occasion simply couldn't do anything about it. This is cruel on Scotland, you have to say, given the strides they've made in the match. As we watch on as the Ireland standoff then adds an extra 2 points. Of course, Ireland with those 4 points, the 4 tries. That is the conclusion. Norma Stapleton's kick in the end. Scotland 15, Ireland 22. And Claire, if ever it was a case of what might have been, it was surely out there this evening.
Certainly was. Scotland could take a lot of heart from that though. They played really well, much improved performance, so that it's almost a victory for them.
Well, there we go, the scoreline. A reminder, Scotland 15, Ireland 22. As you can see, in a short while there'll be under-20s coverage. Scotland under-20s against Ireland under-20s as well. But plenty of talking points in this thoroughly entertaining Women's Six Nations International. Heartbreak in the end for Scotland. They've lost. Scotland 15, Ireland 22.
Thank you very much to commentary team, Stuart McFarlane, Claire Bain. Desperately disappointing end to a fantastic game for Scotland women, losing out in injury time. Ireland 22, Scotland 15. A contentious decision with a penalty awarded when the clock was in the red. Ireland were allowed to kick to a corner. They then won a penalty after that, opted to tap and go, and crashed over Jenny Murphy with the 82nd minute try. We'll have a look at some of the highlights now on that enthralling opening fixture of the 2017 Women's Six Nations Championship. That was the first try from Jade Konkel. She scored 2 in the night in her comeback, player of the match, And this was Scotland working so hard to get into the game. Helen Nelson played wonderfully well at standoff. Lisa Martin as well. Lisa Thomson played really well. She carried hard in the midfield. The Scottish women can be proud of the way they played. And this is back. This is the second try. Carmen Coppy with the first, really. Came from a great set piece drive from the line out. Tracy Balmer carried the ball on. And then Jade Konkel with her second of the night. Sarah Law added the extras. And Scotland led 12 points to 10 at that point. Backed by a great support here at Broadwood Stadium. The half-time score was 15-all. And then, half-time score was 15 points to 10. And then 2 tries in the second half from Ireland. We thought it was going to be a draw. We thought it was going to be 15-all, but the final try in the 82nd minute by Jenny Murphy allowed the Irish women to come out on top. Just Ireland 22, Scotland 15. So after an enthralling 80 minutes, women's rugby now look ahead to the next instalment of rugby. It's under 26 nations. It's Scotland under 20 versus Ireland under 20. And I'm delighted to be joined in the studio by BT Sport Scottish Rugby Academy coach Brian Eason. He works with the guys in under 20s. He's part of the development, and we're thoroughly delighted that he's going to share his wisdom ahead of the match and during the game as well. So Brian, desperately disappointed for the women. What do you think is going to happen this under 20 international?
Look, first of all, let's look at the women's performance. I thought it was an outstanding performance, and they were so disappointed at the end. Just as you say, contentious decision, that last penalty. But you know, the way that they stuck in there, absolutely outstanding. Under 20 international, look, it's always difficult. First game of the season. Both sides will have had a difficult week, a tough week. They'll have front-loaded their weeks Monday, Tuesday. Players training, playing at higher intensity than they're used to. So coming in at Six Nations is going to be massive for both sides. Both sides with fresh faces. I think Ireland have got 2 returning from last year, Scotland with 4, a couple who have been on the bench as well. So, it will be really interesting for both sides, but both sides will want to get off a good start, Chris.
It's so important, isn't it? We hear often about momentum in rugby, and especially in the Six Nations Championship, be it the women, the under-20s or the full side, because the competition's so condensed, that good start that is vital for momentum. Do you think we'll see a good start from the Scottish lads tonight?
I think so. Look, the boys have been training since they've been together more often this season. We've put more dates in the programme. They played the Club International a couple of weeks ago, which was a good high intensity game for the boys, and it's so important. I think we will see a good start from the boys. There's a lot of players who are now involved in the academy system, whether it be stage 2 or stage 3 full-time academy. So we've got more players playing at good higher level of rugby, but to start against Ireland's a tough one. Last 5 years I've gone for the home team. So beating England at home first game last year, we've got to go into that and just think and take that as a big positive.
Yeah, Ireland finished 3rd in last year's under-20 championship, but they came good, didn't they, in the Junior World Cup, the under-20s championship. They were beaten in the final, runners up to England, when England won the World Cup on home soil. Scotland last year in under-20s had 2 fantastic home wins, but they finished the championship in 4th place. The result in this one last year was 26 points to 18 over in Donnybrook. But I agree with you, Brian. I think we look forward to what will be a cracking fixture, and 1 or 2 names in the Scottish team seat do you think will stick out tonight?
Well, there's a couple of boys there that we've got kind of got the X factor. You've got players that have coming back. Callum Hunter-Hill in the second row. Callum has this year, he's played for Glasgow. He got capped against Deborah this year. You've got Darcy Graham, who him and Ross McCann actually in the back 3 have got a little bit of the X factor. They'll have a real go. Darcy's been playing outstandingly well for Hoyk, and actually was with the full national squad last Friday, just in their kind of team runs. So you've got people like Vern Cotter, Jason O'Halloran, Matt Taylor and the guys, they're looking at Darcy. Darcy's got something a wee bit extra, so big second row in there, but 2 real X-factor players in the back 3.
There's a bit of experience, as you say, as well, that's played professional rugby, but we'll come back to that. As mentioned earlier on the broadcast of Scottish Rugby TV, we are running a competition. It's a chance to win 2 RBS Six Nations tickets for Scotland versus Wales at BT Murrayfield on the 25th of February. And to win those tickets, head over to our Facebook page and leave us a comment and tell us where you're watching the broadcast, what you're enjoying about it, how much you enjoyed the Women's International, and how much you're looking forward to the Under-20 International. As we see the teams taken to the field, Brian Easton's going to join us 2 or 3 times throughout the broadcast, but it's now to hand over to a match commentator, and he'll talk you through the teams and we'll hear the anthems. Match commentator is Graham Law.
Thanks a lot, Chris. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We'll do a little bit more chat in a minute, but we'll pause now for the anthems, beginning with Ireland's call, followed by Fleur of Scotland.
Thank you very much, everybody. And now, Fleur of Scotland.
The Boghall and Bathgate Pipe Band completing the anthems. We're minutes away from the start of the Under-20 Six Nations Championship here at Broadwood Stadium in Cumbernauld. It's a pretty filthy night. There's about 1,200 to 1,500 people in the main stand here at Broadwood. Scotland Under-20 going for their third successive home victory against the Irish. Wins in 2013 and 2015 down at Netherdale. Ireland last season finished as runners-up in the Junior World Championship down in Manchester, losing to the hosts England in the final. They've only two survivors from last season's Under-20 Six Nations. Their standoff, Johnny McPhillips, and their blindside flanker, Killian Gallagher. Scots have more experience from last season, and they're led by Callum Hunter-Hill, the Stirling County captain. He's got a lot of captaincy experience. He's already led Scotland at age grade level, and he is somebody who's played for Glasgow Warriors this season, as indeed has Adam Nichol, his Bridshaw teammate at tight head prop, and of course Matt Fagerson, the younger brother of Scotland's tight head at BT Murrayfield tomorrow, Xander. Matt has played for Glasgow Warriors this season too. So a trio with professional experience in the Scotland Under-20 pack. I'm going to hand over now to Chris Patterson. Chris, thoughts about tonight's game?
Well, really looking forward to this one. I think it's such an exciting part of the season, isn't it? Everybody looks forward to the Six Nations. They look forward to making an impact, and a lot of these young players can and possibly will play full international rugby in the months ahead, 6, 12, 18 months ahead. So they'll be excited. They'll be looking up to get off to a good start. We spoke earlier with Brian Easton about how important a good start is. You see Josh Henderson there with the ball in hand. He looks calm, he looks composed. He looks as if he's going to enjoy it. A new haircut for the evening as well. Not be too happy with the weather conditions though, but we're just waiting for the referee, Christoph Ridley, to get himself set before we can launch these players into action.
Is it a ref comms delay, do you think, Moss?
Quite often, is it? We don't actually have a referee at the moment, so I don't know, maybe a PA announcement to those in the stand here at Broadwood if we've got a qualified referee, but I'm sure Christoph Ridley will be making his way. Jack Makepeace as well, and Peter Allen, an assistant referees out of England, TMO David Sainsbury.
Now, Peter Allen did actually ask me to mention, although he's refereeing out of the RFU, he's not refereeing out of England. So Peter Allen of Watsonians and a member of Scottish Rugby's elite referee panel for a number of years. Peter's work with RBS, funnily enough, took him down south, so he's now part of the RFU assistant referee panel. And you did name check the TMO there, David Sainsbury.
Yeah, David Sainsbury as well.
Quite a keen grocer, I think.
Right. Interestingly, this we speak about the players being excited and desperate and ready to go. They've had to, watch the desperately exciting and frustrating moments for the Scottish women beforehand. That has a knock-on effect on your preparation when you can take the field. You can't warm up on the pitch that you're going to play on because obviously there's a match before it. And then just after your anthems, when your emotions are high, you're looking to get into the game, you're faced with this delay. So the experienced players in both teams will really have to use this period to try and influence the players, keep them calm in some ways, but then just treat it as another wee kind of hitch you have to get over. And it's great to see the Scottish players have actually organised themselves into a hand and drill to stay sharp. It's good leadership.
Yeah, I was going to say it is interesting because Ireland have a coach on the field with them, and Scotland players have taken charge of the scenario themselves.
It shows initiative, doesn't it? And ultimately, this is when you're part of the international team, you expect these things, and that's a very experienced coaching panel you see there, led by Sean Lanine. The players, this won't be totally unusual to them. It'll happen. It'll sometimes happen deliberately by away sides to cause a distraction. So you are, prepared for every eventuality. But as I say, I'm not seeing so many international games, age grade or full, before the referee comes
Here comes
out.
Christoph Ridley now, resplendent in a white jersey. Wonder if it'll be white by the end of the night. As I say, the rain's been hammering down really since the start of the Women's International, which preceded this Under-20 match. If you've just joined us, Scotland women, it was a very fiercely contested international. Scotland women having led at half-time and led into the second half. It was 15-all, and Scotland women had a couple of penalty opportunities which they pushed wide. Ireland women scoring a converted try at the death with both stadium clocks showing the 80 minutes had elapsed. So a bit of spice at the end of that game. Officials are still debating. We still seem to have an issue over the comms.
It does. It looks like a communications issue, doesn't it? And it doesn't look as if it's getting sorted too soon. We hopefully can pick that up as Ireland have followed suit with a handling exercise. Maybe a good moment to pick out some players to keep an eye on from the Scottish point of view. Darcy Graham's been mentioned already, the outstanding young fullback. He can also play in the wing as well. Robin Aarons returning after last year on the right wing. He's a huge man. Plays out the Harlequins club. Very devastating with ball in hand, and a good blend in the midfield for Scotland. Cameron Hutchison, who plays out of Curry, the Heriots schoolboy. He's a ball player, a distributing 12 with Craig Pringle, the hard running, still in county centre. And up front, well, Callum Hunter-Hill will lead the pack from second row. Alex Craig's his second row partner. He played last year as well. More familiar in the back row, but he'll do a good job in the second row. Adam Nichols had professional experience with the Glasgow Warriors this year, coming off the bench at tight head prop. We'll look to him in the set piece. And then someone else with a huge amount of experience this year, almost in double figures of games for Glasgow Warriors, and Matt Fagerson, the open side flanker. We're excited to see him in action this evening as well.
So we're at 19 minutes to 9. Referee Ridley would now appear to be wired for sound. And it's Josh Henderson, son of a renowned Curry back row forward, Kirkcaldy back row forward, Andrew Henderson, gets us underway. And immediately Ireland protecting that ball inside the 22. It's Ireland's scrum half Johnny Stewart, and we have a line out as Tom Dodd collects the ball. So the line out close to the Scotland 10-metre line.
That's a good kick by Johnny Stewart. Scotland are looking to kick long to put pressure on Ireland's exit to force a set piece in Ireland's half, but the quality of the clearance kick means that Scotland do have possession, they do have the set piece, but it's just inside their own half.
Fraser Rennick, who was involved in last season's campaign as 24th man, so a bit of an insight into preparation and such like, and he's been a regular for Hoyk in the BT Premiership this season. Scotland getting a nudge on. Ball's with Rennick. Referee asks him to use it. And it's Andrew Summers from a prolific Scottish rugby dynasty. Ball spills forward. And we'll have the first scrum. The Scotland under 20 pack, coached by Eddie Pickaxe Pollock, who's something of a scrummage specialist, Mossy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a very good technical coach, a lot of coaching success, and you see Josh Henderson making an outside break on that short side. It's quite interesting when the weather's like it is, when it's wet, when it's windy. The short side is often a safe place to go. It's a good drive from the line out infield, open up that short side space. And Josh Henderson had a good break, but unfortunately his pass to Ross McCann was just too high. And the first scrum of the evening, the put-in goes to Ireland.
On this loose-head side for Scotland is George Thornton from the Bishop Burton College in Beverley, down into Yorkshire. And he's up against Peter Cooper, the Ireland under-20 tight head from the Belfast Harlequins club over the North Channel in Ulster. Nice clean strike by Tad McElroy, and it's Stewart. Ireland given the short ball. Stewart again. And a knock on. So good close quarter defence there from the Scots.
Yeah, decent first scrum for Scotland as well. It was Ireland's put in, but Ireland certainly didn't have a huge amount of control at the back. And then this is a pre-planned move, trying to free the inside winger Jordan Larmour just in the inside of the scrum half, Johnny Stewart. So that's pre-planned. Scotland were able to see it coming, fill the field in defence, get their processes right, and that guard shield area round about the ruck and maul and force a turnover.
Yeah, as you say, Jordan Larmour. Well policed, and Scotland's first scrum looks good. And Ireland disrupt illegally, says referee Ridley. The obligatory procession of backs in to say well done, discussing the technical points of that scrummage with authority, no doubt, Bossy.
Yeah, that's a big statement, isn't it? Have another look at the scrum. You can see loose head, Joey Conway just getting twisted inside under the pressure, and then the straight drive coming through from Scotland, winning the penalty. So that's 2 good set pieces from Scotland. 1 good line-out drive up the middle, and then that really strong scrum. And then we managed to force a mistake from the Irish scrum as well. So it's a good start. It gives the opportunity for points. Was that 45, 46 metres out for Josh Henderson? It's a long kick. And a wee bit blustery here this evening as well, but let's see how he goes with his first effort.
We were here just over a fortnight ago, doing a recce with the outside broadcast company, and Henderson was working with the man on my left. And let's see. He didn't miss that by much, Chris, did he?
No, it's a good strike, wasn't it? It just fell just under the bar. It was on target, just didn't have the legs. I say when it's cold and wet and a little bit windy, the distance, your maximal distance can drop a wee bit, but it's important to evaluate that kick. He probably kicked it as well as he could. It didn't go over. He can't let his head drop for the next one.
So we're coming up to 5 minutes played here at Broadwood, and we still see the first points. Scotland go aerial. It's caught by Jack Kelly, the Irish captain. Kelly onto the right foot. Scotland up very quickly. That's a good clearance from Kelly. From in his own 22 under pressure. We're up to 6 or 7 metres inside the Scotland half.
Yeah, you can see the rain teeming down there. It wasn't under a huge amount of pressure on the catch, but then a superb chase. Alice Craig and Darcy Graham up there putting a lot of pressure on, and still under all that pressure, he manages to get not just outside his 22, but outside his half. And it's another line-up for Scotland on that far side. Most of the play's been on that far side, and most of the possession is for Scotland.
So Fraser Rennick. His target is Callum Hunterhill, the captain. In Scotland, we've already seen one fruitful line-out drive, and they're shaping another one here. Andrew Summers barking at his pack. Over the halfway line they go, the crowd like it. It's with Luke Crosby of Curry, and here goes Crosby. Abrasive, good carry, supported by Dodd. Here goes Summers. Summers again to Hunterhill, keeping it nice and tight. Referee adjudges an illegal activity within the mall, the Scotland driving mall being thwarted. There you go, there's his signal, and it's another penalty opportunity, and I think this time, Chris, Josh is going for touchline.
Yeah, that's a right decision. I believe it's slightly further out to the left hand side, adding more metres to the kick, and he's just fell short with the first one. But that's a really good drive again from Scotland. Not only is it a good drive, but they're in control of the ball. They know where the ball is, know who's in charge of the ball, and they're just putting all the pressure on Ireland, who have to give away a penalty, and quite rightly they're penalised.
So interesting here in the Scotland line out. Craig Pringle, the outside centre, appears to be operating as tail gunner. And right at the front there, it's Ross McCann, the left winger. And it's going to be a driving maul. Scotland in control. Summers onto the narrow side, finds McCann. McCann steps inside, beats the tight head prop. Scotland are 2 metres short. Drive forward by the pack. Summers waiting. Again taken on, only a metre short. Summers feeds out, and a lovely direct run by Cameron Hutchison of Curry opens the try scoring for Scotland. Cameron, an North Berwick boy originally. That was a super well constructed try, Chris.
That's an outstanding try, outstanding first try, the 2017 Six Nations for the under-20s. This Cameron Hutchison just finishing it off, but it's a really, really astute move. You spoke about the 8 men in the line out. Ross McCann was one of those. He then peeled off the line out, attacked that short side, and then the power came from Cammy Hutchison of a great Andrew Simmers pass, driving right through the middle of 2 tackles, and Scotland deserved the lead.
Really encouraging start. I'm sure the coaches will be chuffed with something that they no doubt concentrated on and poured over copiously. Coming to fruition, Josh Henderson converts. 8.5 minutes played here at Broadwood Stadium in Cumbernauld as the February rain absolutely chucks it down. Scotland under 20 leading by 7 points to 0. And a good start for the home team.
The angle from Cammy Hutchison came inside Gavin Mullen and outside Johnny McPhillips. Standoff's tackle, and from that outside to come in, the defenders don't see him coming. It's a wonderful score.
So McPhillips gets us underway, and it was Matt Fagerson with the catch, and Scotland exit their 22. All pretty straightforward stuff there. Good basics. Chance to see Tad McElroy, the Ireland under-20 hooker from the Lansdowne club that over the years has produced such famous Irish internationalists as the likes of Moss Keane. Remember Big Moss, the rumbustious second row. Referee picking up a dummy throw. Well, I never. And looks as if Scotland are going to opt for either the high ball here, or maybe just a wee rummel. Let's see, it's with Josh Henderson, so it looks as if it might be going aerial. Here we go. Up it goes. Hunter Hill gets a paw to it, and it's picked up by McElroy. Out to McPhillips. McPhillips trying to find some space on the narrow side. He's scragged. That may have been a wee bit high, but referee content. It's taken on by Ocean Dowling. And now Ireland giving it a bit width. Out to Gavin Mullen. Mullen gives to his left winger Colm Hogan, but good claustrophobic attention from the Scotland defence there, Chris.
Yeah, well, initially the Scotland defence are really quite narrow. 2 phases before that, Hogan was calling, he was screaming for the ball from his standoff, Johnny McPhillips, because he was in so much space on this near side. But eventually, when they did come down to the left, the Scottish defence was able to shuffle over and nullify the threat. Interesting first line out from Ireland. You see a dummy throw, the free kick against. This is a lot of pressure on the Irish pack to deliver some quality ball from set piece.
5-man line out, and it's McPhillips to Caelan Doris in midfield. Here goes Wicharley. Kelly, the captain. Stewart finds Paul Boyle. McPhillips, flat pass to back row forward in midfield. And thus far, the discipline of Scotland has been good, and Ireland are conceding a few penalties, Chris.
Yeah, that's just effective defence, isn't it? The 5-man line, it was almost in line from where the penalty was given, so they didn't make any advantage at all. Great low tackle, and Matt Fagerson over the top of the ball.
Josh Henderson not making touch with that penalty. It's Peter Cooper rumbling up into Scotland territory. Good tackle by Crosby. And the referee rules that he didn't roll from there. So we'll just see what Ireland plan to do from here, and when they're opting for the line out, McPhillips. And Brian Easton, the BT Sports Scottish Rugby Academy coach, is with us. Brian, your thoughts on the opening 12.5 minutes?
Yeah, look, the first 12.5 minutes has been exactly what you'd think about against Ireland. The physical battles are always got how the game's going to be won and lost. And Scotland have actually come into the game a little bit better. The line-out drives have been better than Ireland. Ireland have lost a line-out, and we have actually kept the ball tight. The try came from an 8+1 line-out, where we had 8 in the line-out plus a forward at standing at 9. We drove that really well. A lot of one-pass plays Scotland are playing in this weather as well, and a beautiful pass from Simmers to Cammy Hutch for a for a great try. So Scotland have started off really well, probably had more possession from Ireland, but Ireland, when they have had the ball, are probably looking to play with a little bit wider than Scotland are, against, as Chris has already highlighted, a little bit narrow defence, but a good start for Scotland.
There's one or two set-piece attacks, Brian, that Ireland have tried to bring the winger in early doors, and then from that 5-man line they came back down the short side with the 15. They've always got key players who want to get in the game, so what does Scotland's defence have to do to make sure that they don't break through?
Well, you're looking at Ireland, I think you're right. They have their two key players in the backs are their 10, Johnny McPhillips, and their 15, Jack Kelly. And obviously from that 5-man line, they brought Kelly into first receiver. So we're going to have to work really hard not to overfold on these 5-man lineouts. It's really easy to fold too early in these games. And we actually defended that first one quite well. And, you know, we've just got to keep an eye on that.
Thanks, Brian. Ocean Dowling getting some attention, and we also saw the Ireland under-20 head coach Nigel Carolan looking on from the relative sanctuary of the stand. Scotland are going to have to make what would look to be a temporary change. Charlie Shield wearing jersey number 22 coming on for Andrew Simmers. The way that Simmers scuttled down the tunnel, it didn't look as if it'll be long term, but we'll obviously keep you up to date on that. Shield involved immediately. Good step, another step. Lovely lime green pair of boots as Henderson feeds out. Chris to my left gesticulating that there's a lot of space over the head of Irish left wing Colm Hogan. And the ball goes in that direction. Kelly feeds into midfield. It's picked up by Larmour. Larmour hoists. That's one of those really unfortunate ones where the ball spills forward and the retreating forward catching the ball is offside. And that's just really a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, it's just instinct, isn't it? It's instinct. You know, you can't help it when you have less than a fraction of a second to get the thought process of not catching the ball out of your head. But it just came from it was a right decision from Josh Henderson to try and kick. The kick didn't carry quite as far as you'd wish, and then as he goes up to try and win the ball, gets off the ground well, but just spills it forward, and Matt Fagerson can't help himself but reach for it. It's frustrating for the Scots because they've dealt with everything Ireland's thrown at them so far very, very well. There's been an overthrow from the line out as well, the last line out from Ireland, so Scotland can take a lot of comfort from the amount of pressure they're putting on the set piece of their visitors.
So Johnny McPhillips, one of two survivors from last season's Six Nations under-20 campaign with this penalty on the 10-metre line. McPhillips lands the penalty successfully. Ireland's first points of the 2017 under Six Nations goes to standoff Johnny McPhillips from the Ballynahinch club in Ulster. McPhillips kicked 6 penalties in last season's under 26 Nations, played in all 5 games in Ireland's campaign where they finished just above Scotland in the table. We're back underway through Henderson. It's a good restart into the Irish 22, close to the touchline. Scotland not committing a lot of bodies there. Johnny Stewart with a wee box kick, and that's quite a good result for Scotland, Chris.
Yeah, it's great to see the amount of pressure on that box kick, not allowing Ireland to get out their own territory easily at all. But going back to that penalty with Johnny McPhillips, it was behind the 10-metre line, just behind the 10-metre line, and actually carried halfway up the stand. So he's a 50-metre plus kicker. The Scots will have to be aware of that. But because the charge down, that doesn't look as if it's terribly straight from the throw-in either. But Scotland will have to defend as Ireland continue to maintain possession.
It was a very diplomatic omission to mention the forward pass there too, Chris. So we'll crack on. Ball's gone forward there. This could be trouble for Scotland. Irish wing Larmour chasing furiously, but Scotland defence reacted quickly, and that particular alarm well policed.
Yeah, just Charlie Shield. It's so wet, isn't it, tonight? So hard to get your hands on the high balls. I've seen 2 spilled, but it's good to see Robin Aaron chasing back. Ross McCann's back there as well, because Larmour does have a lot of gas. He was eating up the ground, but well covered in the end by the Scots.
Josh Henderson Collected by Stewart on his own 10-metre line, hoists. Darcy Graham calls for the ball, and off he goes. Lovely pass. Bit of space now. Back inside. It's big Dodd. Dodd, oh, that was a good offload, and Graham just about managed to collect it. Good ambition from Scotland there, triggered by the go-to man, Darcy Graham.
Yeah, he's electric, isn't he? He's absolutely electric when he gets his hands on the ball, but he was really clever there because he knew Ross McCann was in more space than him, and then as the ball came back inside to Dodd, he just forced the offload to Darcy Graham. It was too low for Graham to get the ball back, get a second touch in that move. But again, the key to making a decision in the offload is if you can see the player you're passing. If you can see the player, then and you're under control, you can give it. That one, Tom Dodd saw Darcy Graham, but he just wasn't under enough control at high pace to make it stick.
Referee Ridley not happy with Scotland's scrum engagement there. Free kick, Ireland advancing into Scotland territory. Good defensive speed there, clever little chip kick. It's left winger Hogan and Darcy Graham having to react quickly there. That was a nice bit of vision from the Irish backs.
It is. It's Johnny McPhillips working in tandem with his left winger Hogan again. We mentioned it in the first 5 or 10 minutes. We thought Scotland were narrow, and Hogan called for the ball and didn't get it. He obviously had a word with his standoff and said, "Listen, if I call, you get over to me." Because the Scottish defence are so narrow, there's space for that kick pass to the wing.
Andrew Simmers back with us. According to the public address announcement there, he'd been off for an HIA, but happily he's with us again. Ireland's line-out is still not quite firing. Referee playing an advantage for what he deemed to be a Scotland knock-on towards the front of that line-out. Ireland going through the middle there. Stewart is very quick up from Matt Fagerson, and indeed just a little bit tousy there. Good evening, how are you? Welcome to Cumbernauld.
It's Matt Fagerson was put a fair shot and he flew out the line. He made the tackle. I think it was on McElroy, the hooker. McElroy took exception, gave him a push in the back. I think Alex Craig came in to act as peacemaker. But Scotland, you mentioned the Irish line out, and Scotland will be happy with the way the set piece has gone. They'll be happy with the scoreline almost 20 minutes into the game, leading by 7 points to 3. A cracking score by Cammy Hutchison, the Scotland inside centre. A well created and a well finished score. And this is an important time as well. Ireland getting more possession towards the end of this quarter of the game. But it's really important that Scotland keep their defence strong and the defensive systems accurate and apply the pressure back onto the visiting pack.
There's Tom Dodd of Worcester, Scotland's number 8. And it's Johnny Stewart from Queen's University in Belfast to feed the scrum just outside the Scotland 22. Number 8 on the pickup. Fagerson quickly in engagement. Ireland seeking route 1. Stewart to his loose head, Conway. It's picked up by Dowling. Referee playing advantage. Scotland deemed to be not rolling away. And this should be a relatively simple pop at goal for McPhillips.
It's Matt Fagerson this time penalised for not rolling away. Matt has made 3 or 4 tackles in this sequence alone, and there you see he gets caught on the wrong side, and it's very difficult to get out of there. That the Irish players ain't going to let you get out of there very, very easily, but you've got to make the effort. The effort has to come from you, and it's a good law, I believe. Get away from there, allow whichever team's attacking quick ball.
He was very quick toward the penalty, wasn't he? McPhillips It's a 1 point game, ladies and gentlemen. It's Scotland 7, Ireland 6. And we've just sneaked into the second quarter here at Broadwood Stadium in Cumbernauld. You're watching Scottish Rugby TV with coverage from the opening night of Six Nations 2017. Josh Henderson again favouring the right hand side as Ireland look at it of their 22 with his restart. And it's the same clearance strategy from Stewart. That's Dodd on the counter, not able to look after the ball, referee playing an advantage. Wycherley. Stewart, McPhillips, again under pressure. Darcy Graham, great take by Graham. Superb skill by the diminutive Hoyt youngster. Simmers hoists, but the chase was maybe just a wee bit slow to materialise. That's a very good clearance though from Ireland. But another example, Chris, of the quite superlative skills of Darcy Graham.
Yeah, it's such a difficult ball to take in the dry, never mind in the driving rain, because it's had to make up so much ground. Again, Ireland have spotted that space on the left-hand side, Scotland's right, because the Scotland defence is narrow. But you see Darcy Graham making up so much ground, calling for the ball, calling cleanly, making sure it's his and winning it with tremendous technique. And then McPhillips finds himself in the right position again, and he's one of the two players who've returned from last year, and you can tell that already. As a calm head, he's kicked his penalties, and his kicking at hand's been very accurate.
Scotland reducing the line out, and not the cleanest, but Luke Crosby does what we've seen Luke Crosby on Scottish Rugby TV do on a good few times this season. The ball kind of spews out from that breakdown, and Simmers does very well to rescue. Again, it's all a bit messy. Referee rules the ball went backwards. Oh, again, Simmers has got to deal with a wickedly bouncing ball. Robbie Nairn goes high. Referee rules knock on towards Ireland. McPhillips again sensing space. Back goes Ross McCann. And that ball just bounces the wrong way from an Irish perspective, and Henderson has to maintain his alertness to touchdown. But as you say, Chris, the experience of Johnny McPhillips very evident thus far.
Well, he's making look the territorial game look quite easy, which is difficult to do. He's kicking at the right time, but his kicks are very accurate. And Josh Henderson did well there to stay calm under a lot of pressure to allow the ball to go dead. But again, we see McPhillips. He's a man with the ball in the hand.
McPhillips. And it's another very accurate touch finder, taking play to just inside the Scotland half. We're 25th minute here at Broadwood. Scotland leading by 7 points to 6 if you've just joined us, through a very well constructed try by the Curry centre and former Scotland under-19 captain Cameron Hutchison. Fraser Rennick throwing into this line out. Luke Crosby rises highest at the tail, and it's a good peel by Scotland. It's inside to the loose head prop Thornton. Thornton rumbles up towards the 22, taken on now by Alex Craig. Craig, bit of momentum there. Scotland looking for ball. Here goes Simmers. Simmers again finds forward support. Referee playing an advantage. Simmers to Henderson. Henderson tries to thread the ball over the top, but back we come. An offside penalty. And that was great work by Scotland off that line out.
It was an excellent move through to the tail of the line out and almost dummied the drive and sheared off the tail. And then, well, George Thornton, the loose head prop, took an offload and he charged up the field. This is the end of the play when it comes to Josh Henderson with a penalty advantage. You see the referee already with his hand out and penalty advantage. So it's a time to try something maybe you wouldn't try before. This is the line out. Luke Crosby with the take at the back, and then you can see it shearing off the side. Matt Ferguson, great offload to George Thornton. He breaks 2 tackles and keeps going. At this point, I think the ball should have been moved wide. Alex Craig took it off 9 to keep the momentum going, but general rule of thumb, if you break the line and make a lot of yards, try and get the ball away from that area, because that's where the defence will filter back to.
Henderson with a successful penalty. Scotland extend their lead against Ireland in this under-20 international to 10 points to 6.
Well, I think Scotland started this game very well. Ireland came back into it, but one thing Scotland will be happy with is their conversion rate. 10 points from the early possession, I think, is a good return.
McPhillips. Ross McCann. And it's now Irish back row forward Caelan Doris on the ball. Callum Hunter-Hill very eager to lead the defensive line there. Pass to Killian Gallagher, another of the survivors from last season. Looked a wee bit forward initially, and a call from assistant referee Peter Allen helped out Christoph Ridley there, and there we go. Yeah, clearly a forward pass.
Yeah, forward, and that can be forced as well by the Scottish defensive line coming forward really quickly. Callum Hunter-Hill, I think, was lucky to get away with his jump off the line in defence moments before, but that puts a doubt, it puts a pressure if you get away with it on Ireland, and it allows you to come up a bit harder. We can hear again from Brian Easton to get his thoughts, as I say, just before the half-hour mark. Brian, what have you seen in the last 20 minutes?
Last 20 minutes, I think Ireland have probably come into the game a little bit more so because of, and we've discussed about the Irish 10, Johnny McPhillips. He's playing the territory game pretty well. He's putting Scotland under pressure, but Scotland have put themselves under pressure a little bit just by making silly mistakes. We missed a kick to touch. We gave away a silly penalty from the aerial. We're losing the aerial battle at the moment. But when we do play, when we, that breakout from the line out, bringing in the big runners like Fagerson, who made a great offload, we look dangerous. But as you say, Chris, I think maybe sometimes we could have that extra pass just in there. Once we get in behind them, we just got to put them under a little bit of pressure. But all I would say to Scotland is cut out the silly mistakes and we'll just keep Ireland out of the game.
Thanks, Brian. There was a wee bit treatment there for Fraser Rennick, and we're about to resume. You think that's P for physio on the yellow jacket there, Chris? Yeah. Now, we'll not tell you what Brian Easton said. We'll save that one to your imagination.
Interesting defence from Ireland. They've got 3 up in the front line and 2 sitting back and the fullback in behind. So Scotland can attack left or right.
Sorry, Chris. Good scrum from Scotland there. Dodd. An opportunity to go quickly was passed by. There is a penalty advantage. It looked as if he was playing a penalty advantage. Anyway, we'll stick with the action. Yeah, he was playing a penalty advantage. You were screaming, give that.
Yeah, well, because Ireland had set up unusually with only 3 players in the front line, Scotland could have attacked either side. The numbers up an advantage either side, attack versus defence. And because the scrum crabbed to the left, they decided to go left, but it had to go one more pass. Effectively, if the pass had gone, you'd had 3 players on one Irish defender, Larmour on that right-hand side. And I think Scotland, as Brian said, can give that extra pass. Trust your skills, even though it's wet. When you've got good possession, give that extra pass and really stretch the Irish defence.
So we have a line out on the Irish 10-metre line. And Fraser Rennick throws in. It's a bit messy. Fagerson beats one tackle, beats another. Makes a good 5 metres. It's messy again. And well, that really needed to go through the hands from an Irish perspective there, and Colm Hogan thought all these Christmases would have come at once. But anyway, on we go. It's a pass behind Jack Kelly, which the fullback does well to retrieve. It was a balloon pass from his outside centre, Gavin Mullen, i.e. the ball ballooned behind him. Oh, opportunity here, Robbie Nairn hacks on. Soccer skills required. Craig Pringle, the former Loreto schoolboy, maybe didn't play much football in Musselburgh. But again, the pressure that Scottish defence is exerting seems to be preying on the minds of the Irish backs.
There's so little in this game. There's opportunities for both teams. Here, this was the end of it, where there's a loose pass pounced upon by Robin Nairn and Craig Pringle, but they just couldn't keep the ball under control. Prior to that, Robin Nairn tried to pick and go in the contact, leaving his right wing, and was turned over. And as you quite rightly said, the ball wasn't moved to Hogan on the left wing, who had a free run in. So both sides are pushing hard, creating opportunities, but just must keep the discipline and the accuracy in the rain.
Hunterhill takes cleanly this time, and that's a promising drive from the Scots. Fraser Rennick in control at the back of that driving maul. There is again a penalty advantage, but let's see what Scotland can do. Let's see what they can play from here. Simmers feeds Henderson. Henderson, the chip kick over, it's for Ross McCann. It might still work for Ross McCann. It's picked up by Darcy Graham, and Graham, has he managed to aquaplane it at the corner? I don't think so. The referee rules held up. He doesn't consult with his assistant, doesn't consult with the TMO, makes an instant call and comes straight back over, having played a long advantage. And that's the penalty from the advancing maul.
Yeah, pulling down to the maul from that initial line out, and it's I think this kick should go to the corner. The set piece from Scotland has been good. The driving line has been good, and keep applying the pressure to Ireland.
Your wish is Josh Henderson's command, Mr. Patterson.
This was the outcome after the good drive. Again, penalty advantage. Josh Henderson trying to find Ross McCann on that wide side. Kelly missed it, and I thought Darcy Graham was going to make it, but I tell you, that's a wonderful recovering tackle by Lar Moore to turn Darcy Graham and stop him just short.
There was a pretty wicked bounce there, wasn't there? It looked as if it was going to go straight into Ross McCann's breadbasket, and then it just tilted the other way. Anyway, back to the action. It was Callum Hunterhill, the Scotland captain, who again took from the line out. That's looking like a penalty possibly there, but the referee tells Andrew Simmers that's once. George Thornton is picked up by Craig Pringle. Almost isolated there. Here's Thornton again, supported by Rennick. Scotland not committing too many to the breakdown. Here it comes, Henderson. Henderson to Hutchison. Hutchison beats that first tackle. Simmers to Adam Nicholl, the Stirling County tight head, who, as we say, had played for Glasgow Warriors this season, but that time Scotland pinged for not releasing at the breakdown, and that's a pretty poor return from the ambition registered by opting for the touchline.
Yeah, it is. It's well defended by Ireland. I think they defended that line out drive better. It wasn't such a strong platform for Scotland to launch from, and then they met Scotland on the gain line. Because Scotland had so many in the breakdown in that initial maul, the defence were always outside, so they could see the play, they could see what was coming and come up really hard. This is the end of it for Adam Nicholl's tackled, and there you can see the tight head prop Peter Cooper getting over the ball in a good position after Dowland's classic low tackle and winning their side of penalty.
Still encouraging signs for Scotland. Ireland going through their line out options, and it's McElroy throws in. Wycherley did manage to clear the ball and sets up Doris in midfield. Again, it's all just a wee bit lacking in composure, but McPhillips tries to bring a bit of clarity to it. McElroy, the wrap round behind, and there was space there for Colm Hogan, but he just couldn't quite collect that pass, Chris.
Yeah, there is space for Hogan. He takes up some nice positions. He's hugging the touchline, and you can see from here, you see the back of Robin Nairn's number 14 jersey. He has a really difficult decision to make. Does he come in and try and shut off the pass, or does he sit back and try and cover? He gets caught in between, and if that pass had been more accurate, Hogan would have made a bit of ground up this left-hand side. So it's, again, we keep talking about the weather having an influence on how you play and where you play, but Ireland are attacking the short side, and they're getting some success without being desperately accurate.
So It's a scrum just inside the Ireland half. We've not had too much blight from the old scrum engagement thus far tonight. Let's hope that's not a curse.
Let's hope we can get some in. And actually, I hope not here, because this is, for me, is a really good scrum to attack from. You're 5 metres from touchline, so in attacking sense, if you can get a solid base, you know, all the Scotland backs on the left hand side of the scrum, but Ireland have to retain their fullback back. They're also the left wing back, so you can really manipulate the defence and cause hopefully a bit of stress and find some space with the ball in hand.
Simmers feeds. Good steady set piece from Scotland. Here we go. The referee encourages Simmers to play it. Here's Robbie Nairn. Nairn clawed down by Stewart, the Irish scrum half. And the referee comes back and gives a penalty at the scrummage. Driving in from the side, I think, was the signal. Yep. And Scotland almost seemed reluctant to play from that scrum there, Chris.
Yeah, I think as a back you want to see them play. As a forward, and Eddie Pollock as scrum coach will be delighted with that. He'll want that ball kept in there, because look at the dominance they've got, and they've won the penalty. It's great management of the scrum and winning that penalty, but there's an opportunity to play there as well. So getting the balance is what we're looking for, but well done to the lads for winning the penalty.
Hunterhill at the front, and it looks as if we might be going into driving maul territory again. The Scotland captain leading from the front. Simmers just keeping an eye on the referee. Here's Simmers to Henderson. It's now going out wide. Here's Darcy Graham. Lovely step from Graham up to the 22. Ross McCann goes into play scrum half. Good drive by Alex Craig. Dumfriesshire Farmers boy. Simmers to Henderson. Henderson to Fagerson. Fagerson stepping off the left foot. Simmers again. It's taken on by Fraser Rennick. Craig in immediate support. Here's Hunterhill. Hunterhill again. It's all been kept very close range at the minute. Ball's gone forward though, unfortunately. It was really a bit unfortunate for Scotland there. Back to McPhillips. Darcy Graham almost clambering into the third row of the stand in his desire to clean catch there.
That's an excellent clean kick again, isn't it, by McPhillips on his own dead ball line. But this highlights how effective Darcy Graham is as a ball carrier. Stepping and breaks 2 if not 3 tackles, and watch this ball presentation. Perfect. Pushed out away from the body to allow the play to continue. And then 2 or 3 rucks later, Tom Dodd sees a bit of space in behind, over the top of the ball, but can't take the ball with him. Knocked on, and Ireland clear the lines.
Bit of a mess at that line out, but Scotland, through Fagerson, managed to rescue. And it's Hunterhill. Simmers inside to Ross McCann. Body's a bit slow to roll away there. Yeah, I thought so, referee. Thank you. And an opportunity for Scotland to extend their lead coming up to half-time, Chris.
Yeah, it's no doubt they'll do. No, I'm doubting what they'll do here. They'll take the opportunity to try and kick 3 points, and quite rightly so. Good management again by the Scotland players. A bit scrappy from the line out initially, but you can see 2 players, both 8 and 3, Doris and Cooper, rolling the wrong side and quite rightly being penalised. This is an important kick, just leading up to half time. It's an important kick for Josh and for Scotland. They, I think they deserve their 10 points to 6 lead. They started well, and towards the end of the half they've been dominant. In the middle section, I think I would give to Ireland on points just, but Scotland have hit back well. It'd be great to see some more return before half time.
Henderson then, and he's on the mark. We've got a minute to go in the first half here at Broadwood Stadium. Scotland under 20 leading now by 13 points to 6 against their Irish counterparts. That was Josh Henderson's second penalty of the night. And we've got time for Ireland's restart. Let's see what McPhillips does here. Again, opting for deep. It's a bit wild. Darcy Graham, here he goes. Now, Scotland really do have to exit from here. And that's a good clearance. Darcy Graham, again, though, just his contributions really impressed me. He was training with the national squad last week, Chris, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's great. That's great management of him as an individual. I actually bumped into him when he came away from the training session, and he was super excited, which is great to see. His raw enthusiasm for the game, being rewarded for being a standout performer for the 20s last year and for Hoyk in the BT Premiership this year. And it's great that he got the opportunity to train alongside the lads who'll be playing the BT Murrayfield tomorrow.
Ireland throw-in. Again, the line-out is something of a shambles. Scotland pinch. With clock gone red, but Scotland have an opportunity here. It's taken on by Dodd. Simmers feeds out, inside ball to Adam Nicholl. Nicholl will be keen to atone from the penalty he gave away on his last carry. It's Rennick again, with Thornton riding shotgun. Henderson trying to find space behind Larmour. Larmour watching that ball with a lot of diligence. That's not the best of kicks from the Irish winger. Now here's Darcy Graham. What's he going to do? Little chip ahead, looking to catch it himself. He nearly pulls it off. Oh, tremendous enterprise from the Hoyt youngster. That will be half time. An entertaining half played in difficult weather conditions. Scotland scoring a cracking try early doors, where they kept the ball at close range from a line out for Cameron Hutchison to bullet over from a lovely pass from Andrew Simmers. Ireland pulling back 2 penalties from the experienced Johnny McPhillips. But since the scoreline was 7-6, Josh Henderson with 2 penalties has brought Scotland to a 13-6 advantage here at half-time at Broadwood. Join us again in a few minutes for the second half. Thanks.
This is Tartan Touch, a fun, simple way to get fit, make new friends and enjoy playing rugby.
There are 20 Tartan Touch hubs across Scotland. Simply find an event in your area that works around your schedule and come along.
I've never played rugby before. It's been brilliant. I've come down today, really enjoyed myself, got stuck in and had a great time.
There are only 8 simple rules, so you'll be playing in no time. Teams are mixed and for all levels and abilities.
Playing with people older than me has helped me develop my skills. I've improved quickly.
Rugby is a fantastic way to get fit. The more you play, the more your skills will improve and you'll get fitter with every game.
I played rugby at school, but probably not as much as I'd like to, so that's why I've joined Tartan Touch. It gives the opportunity to do it of an evening at the weekends.
It's all about bringing people together to the best game in the world. Find out more and sign up at tartantouch.org.
Tartan Touch, a game for everyone!
Now welcome back to Broadwood, where another 40 minutes of rugby has been another treat. Here we see some of the highlights of Scotland lead Ireland 13 points to 6 at half time. I'm joined again by Brian Eason, and this is the first try. Brian, what's your views on this one?
Look, we talked about this earlier on. I think Scotland have been very good in their line-out drives. They've actually driven very well, and their one-pass plays inside that 22 were outstanding. And that Simmer's pass across to Cammy's been excellent. Scotland have done very well. They started very well. At Ireland, as we said, already came into the game second half with Johnny McPhillips, but then Scotland finished well again. Again, showing us again, sniping up the short side, using players like Ross McCann, boys with X factor, and then just playing with the big runners. Ferguson got in the game in the second half. I think we stopped here with a small mistake, but we're coming into the game a little bit with our one-pass plays, Chris.
Yeah, you see that's a pass you mentioned. Simmers perfectly onto Cammy Hutchison, coming from the outside line to end, and that was the first try. That was the first points on the board. Scotland led 7-0. You can see the celebration, see what it means to them. But as you say, they will continue to throw some highlights over the top of this. But thereafter, Ireland came into the game, didn't they? And they dominated the kicking game and the territory a little bit in that middle section of the first half.
I thought the middle third they played well. Johnny McPhillips looks a very accomplished 10. He controls the territory very well, kicks accurately. And I felt in that middle kind of 10-15 minutes we lost the aerial battle. We made a couple of wee mistakes which allowed them back into the game again. But then we allowed ourselves, we got our drive lineouts have been good. Look, we've had 3 scrum penalties. We've had 3 penalties from lineouts. So, against Ireland, it's always going to come out against physical stuff, and I would say we're ahead in set piece at the moment.
I was just about to ask you that. I think our set piece has been outstanding. In the Irish set piece, it's been, I would say, poor. Now, is that partly because of what the pressure Scotland are putting on, or is that them making mistakes?
I think there's been a lot of pressure. I think our defensive line has been good. They've been throwing up 2 pods. Callum Hunter-Hill's stolen a couple. I know we've knocked on a couple of their lineouts, but that's because we're pressurising them. Although we've had 3 lineouts. They've lost 3 lineouts, but they've also had a couple of scrappy ones as well because we're going up against, and that's always a good platform against Ireland. I was looking at some stat before. In the last 2 or 3 seasons, I believe Ireland have been up to 90-95% of the lineouts. So tonight we've done really well, and we've obviously done our homework.
They've been effective from the lineouts that we've been successful in as well. The first try obviously came from the lineout we were seen on highlight, but we had a tremendous break from George Thornton. They put pressure back onto Ireland. So 1 or 2 really good breaks. Is there anything in attack that you'd be saying to the players at half-time in the Scottish dressing room?
I think you're right off of that line-out. We did a little breakout play from that line-out and played a little bit wider. We're bringing Ferguson into the game, and we discussed it through the game. And that extra pass, I know it's a horrible night, I know it's rainy, and I know it's a first game, and they'll want to make sure that everything's, they don't want to make mistakes. But I think we've looked a little bit narrow in attack, and I'd like to see us stretch their defence a little bit. They've attacked us around the short side, so they've obviously had a wee look at that as well. So defensively we've got a wee look, but our attack, I would like to see a wee bit more.
And obviously it's an opening game of the 2017 Six Nations Championship in the under-20 level, so they're not going to be supremely well oiled. You need some time together, so we'll hopefully see a progression as the game goes on and the championship goes on. But it's a great start, I think, for Scotland. So as we look ahead to the second half, I felt that penalty I think it was in the 37th or 38th minute for Josh Henderson was crucial. Just gives them that cushion going into half-time.
It does give that cushion, and you're right. I mean, coming into the Six Nations, I think, look, if we'd come into this knowing we were up 13-6 at half-time against Ireland, we would take that. And I think the performance it does deserve that. I think we're well ahead of that. The cushion is important. I think being ahead just gives you that little bit more confidence. Ireland, albeit just a scoring, will chase the game a little bit. So, it allows us just to be a little bit more composed this second half, possibly play a little bit more territory, get down, and then we can play a little bit more extra passes on when we do get ball.
Yeah, as I said, we've touched on Johnny McPhillips at 10 for Ireland. He probably will play a more territory-based game in the second half. I think that'll be the message from Nigel Carolan, the Irish under-20s head coach, because he can control the game. But I've been really impressed by Scotland in the opening 40 minutes, leading the Irish counterparts here at half-time, 13 points to 6. But at my side this evening, Edinburgh were taking on Munster in the Guinness Pro 12, and we've just heard that Munster have came out on top by the slightest of margins. Munster 10, Edinburgh 9. I know we've been getting live updates, but that's an opportunity missed for Edinburgh against a strong. Well, Munster are such a strong outfit this season, but Edinburgh will be a wee bit disappointed with that to come so close and come away without a victory.
I think they will be disappointed, especially now. They had a good start up at Myerside in the European game, and they'll have had a big crowd there tonight as well. Being at the Ireland International Weekend, there'll be a lot of Munstermen there.
Bit of singing going on, I'd imagine.
There'll be a lot going on out there. So look, it'll be a disappointing result. I know we had a penalty in the last kick of the game with Blair, which just dropped short, but you're right. I think it shows a lot about Munster's strength, but Edinburgh will be disappointed with that result this evening.
Yeah, obviously, just missing it, they'll get a bonus point, a losing bonus point. But they settling the way forward. I think Duncan Hodges made a big improvement to the way Edinburgh are playing, and it's a great spectacle at Mire side. Another game that's on tomorrow, don't need reminding Brian, there's a big one at BT Murrayfield, Scotland taking on Ireland in the RBS Six Nations. It's so difficult to call, isn't it?
It's a huge game, this one. It's very difficult to call. You know, I think we've all talked all week. You know, myself, yourself, Roddy Grant, guys that, you know, we've all kind of tried to look at the result. It's such a difficult game. Ireland on the back of 3 outstanding results in the autumn. Scotland on the back of 2 very good results in the autumn, nearly a third. We look at Scotland's back division now. That's as good a back division I've ever seen with Scotland. It looks quick, it looks sharp. And I know when I said that's as good a back division I've seen, I just got a look from Mossy there. But no, it's a very good back division. We'll look dangerous in all areas. I really like Hugh Jones at 13. I think he brings a little bit of something. He's outstandingly quick, but he's also a good hand catcher. He's a very good passer of the ball. And Finn brings us a little bit of X factor as well. So it's a real tough one.
I think Ireland will probably reiterate everything you said. I think they'll fear in many ways and certainly respect their back division in the way that Vern Cotter likes the Scotland teams to play. I suppose that the question is the physicality, the Munster kind of edge to Ireland. I think that Leinster bring the creative edge to Ireland. I think Munster bring the physical edge to Ireland, so they've got a mixture of both tomorrow. I think you're right. If we can get control of possession, anybody will be scared of the Scottish backline and the Scottish attacking ability, but it'll be a big ask for the lads up front against a gnarled old Irish pack, won't it?
A huge ask. I think you're right with the way the Munster are playing just now, with that just a little hard edge, and the way they're playing. Conor Murray's control as well. He'll kick a lot. Whether
under pressure,
he'll kick an awful lot under pressure, but within the law, the letter of the law. But no, it's going to be difficult. I think the front five is going to be a huge battle. But you look at the Ireland back row as well. They've got Sean O'Brien's back at 7, and he's not normal. He's a huge open side flanker. And the physical battle will be the big key tomorrow.
And that's maybe one of the reasons Josh Strauss comes back into the team. It's like for like, isn't it, with Josh Strauss and CJ Standard, both massive ball carriers. I think CJ Standard carries more than anyone else in the league so far this season. Scotland will know that's coming. They'll have to target that and get that physical defence to shut them down. So Josh will be part of that as well as his ball carrying. But I think it'll be so close. I think bonus points are a great new addition to the Six Nations Championship. But will they come in to play in the opening weekends, or will that be something that's more applicable towards the end of the championship?
I think it'll be more applicable towards the end. I can't see either side going out tomorrow to try and score 4 or 5 tries. I think if both sides will win out for a victory, it'll be a war of attrition. The way Ireland will play. Ireland will have a go at us. They like to bring from their own half, kind of 10 metres. They'll look for control. They'll look for position and territory, but they also like to play a little bit wide. They like to bring the fullback in the line and then playing behind them. Then when they're in the goal in the goal zone, they'll play pick and drives. They'll latch on. They'll use their physicality. So I can't see either side scoring 4 tries, but I can see both sides having a real go at each other.
Well, let's hope we see that at BT Murrayfield tomorrow, and let's hope we see more of that action we saw in the first half here in the opening 40 minutes of this under-20s international at Broadwood Stadium. Scotland lead 13-6 at half-time. The Irish players are just returning to the field, so it's time to hand back to Graham Law on commentary to take us through the second half.
Thanks a lot, Chris. Thanks to Brian Eason. Good chat there at half-time. Scotland under-20 led by Callum Hunter-Hill. A few determined individuals there coming out from the main stand here at Broadwood Stadium in Cumbernauld. At half-time, while Chris and Brian were giving you their insight, there were some mini rugby games taking place between Cumbernauld and Waysiders from Pellier. The children showing some good skills, and it was great to see the sportsmanship of rugby at the end, where they all shook hands and congratulated each other. Scotland have made a change at half-time. Fergus Bradbury, younger brother of the Edinburgh and Scotland back row forward Magnus Bradbury, has replaced George Thornton at loose head. Referee content that there was no malice involved in that particular collision. and Andrew Summers finds the safety of touch for Scotland about 12 metres or so, or maybe 10 metres or so outside their 22. So first line out of the second half. Let's see if Ireland have done anything to tidy up their line out. That was better, taken by Dowling. They get the drive going. The ball's with tight head Peter Cooper from the Belfast Harlequins club. We peel off, and immediately they win a penalty. And that's not the best of starts to the half for Scotland, Chris.
Well, it looks as if I'm not sure what the penalty was awarded for. Was it dragging the maul down or not releasing the tackle? An interesting decision by the Irish to kick to the corner. Their first line out of the second half was better. It allowed them to launch this attack. They won the penalty. Here we have a look at the penalty. And the ball's at the back. And is it against Tom Dodd coming in from the side? Yeah. To do that, you've got to detach your bind, get round back and come in from behind. I think the maul was spinning slightly that way anyway, so it made it look worse than it actually was. But the net result was a penalty, and Ireland are going to apply some pressure 5 metres from the Scottish line.
Tad McElroy throws in. It's caught by Dowling. Ireland honeypotting behind the ball. It's with the hooker Conway. Ireland, and that's a score. And it's the hooker Tad McElroy who has driven over, and it's really the perfect start to the second half for Ireland. McPhillips opting for the kick to touch. It was very accurate, and from the 5 metre line. Here we go, here's the drive.
It's just too easy, isn't it, Graham? It's too easy that the Irish team have almost... They've executed very, very well because they've kept driving where the ball came off to the side, and the detachment from the maul by McElroy was done at the right time because he was able to run at space. But that'll frustrate Eddie Pollock and the coaching side. They want a bit more resistance there, and a bit more awareness as to where that player's breaking off the maul. But well played to Ireland. They've come out, they've executed 2 good lineouts, and it's given them a platform to score their first try.
So all that good work of the second quarter, which established that 13-6 lead for Scotland, may be about to evaporate here as McPhillips has a chance to level. And he bisects the posts, and it's all square here early in the second half at Broadwood, just as it was in the women's game. For long periods of the second half, it was tied at 15-all in the Women's International, which preceded. And it's now 13 points apiece here. And that'll certainly give the Irish some encouragement. That was a clever kick from Johnny Stewart. Here's Dodd. Dodd burls out of first bit of contact. Summers to Luke Crosby. Crosby drives forward. It's the choke tackle employed by Ireland, and they get the turnover. And it's
just momentum, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's momentum from.
It's not looking the best of starts.
No, it's good momentum from Ireland. They obviously came out, executed the line out, and got a good score that time there. Luke Crosby runs hard onto the ball, but he's very upright, which allows the Irish defence to get underneath and hold them up, force that turnover in the possession. But it was also very close to the breakdown as well. I think because some of the Scottish lads are in great shape, the focus for them should be running at space. Try to avoid running straight into the player. I know it sounds easy, but use your footwork, use your evasion, and that'll avoid you getting held up in the tackle.
So Stewart, Scotland seemed to get a bit of a nudge on there initially. McPhillips. It's a lovely dummy from Frawley, the inside centre. Ireland really starting a decent old lick this half. And the try scorer there, McElroy, in his enthusiasm, he did in fact get to the ball first. McPhillips again onto the right foot. Ross McCann comes forward. Well done by Luke Crosby. Simmers, Hunterhill, back to Turnbull. Not sure where I got Turnbull from. It's Josh Henderson, and that's an absolutely super kick by Josh Henderson.
Outstanding, wasn't it? It's a 60-metre plus gain after being under a bit of pressure. It was an extra pass again from Callum Hunterhill out the back to Josh Henderson, and Luke had just dissected the left wing and the full back. And it's no luck with that bounce. He's kicked the ball and he knows it would roll end over end towards that corner. Excellent. Just what Scotland need after being under a bit of pressure at the start of the second half, an opportunity to apply some pressure on the Ireland line out.
Now McElroy, the Irish hooker, who's obviously in a happy place at the moment given his try, had an awkward, shall we say, first half. So let's see what pressure Scotland can apply here. Quick ball. It's big number 8, Doris, takes the ball forward. Stewart clears, but he's still inside his own 22, and a real chance now for Scotland to build something, Chris.
Yeah, that was good pressure on the Irish throw, and there wasn't much of a gap. I'm not sure there was a metre gap in the front of the line, but they applied pressure, and then Luke Crosby with a really physical tackle slowed the possession down, and then there was a lot of kick pressure on scrum half Stewart's box kick. So much better from Scotland.
Robbie Nairn at the front of the line out for Scotland. Hunterhill comes forward, wins the ball. Scots maybe a wee bit high there, but pirouetting off was Fagerson. And it's a drive on, close range by the forwards. They're only 5 metres short. Simmers to Crosby, ball spills, picked up by Josh Henderson. Henderson beats one man, shows a bit of composure. It's Crosby again from the feed from Alex Craig. Nairn goes into scrum half. Simmers to Fagerson. Nairn still sticking close. Was fired into midfield, and I think it was Ross McCann who knocked on. Let's see the replay.
Yeah,
no. In fact, it was Craig Pringle, I beg your pardon.
It's Craig Pringle. The Irish defence coming up really, really quickly, and again we see it's the same message, isn't it? Scotland are quite close together, and the wider you spread, the more space the defence has to cover. So, as Brian said at half time, trust your skills when it's wet and try and apply the pressure back on there. But Scotland are playing in the right area of the field, and I think their scrum has been particularly good in the first half, and there's an opportunity here to put a lot of pressure onto Ireland and then get a lot of pressure on the clearing kick of Johnny McPhillips, because we know if you give him time, he will gain his team 50 yards very easily.
Stewart feeds again. Scotland seem to get just that first nudge, but here we go to McPhillips. Crosby was quick there. That's a great clearance, isn't it, Chris?
Well, that's outstanding. I think he's probably further up. He's been given the line out. He's not happy with either, just in the 10-metre line, but he's kicking from underneath his own post, so he's central in the field. So even to reach the touchline on any decent angle is going to be a long kick, but to take it up towards halfway is an exceptional kick.
Scotland opting for 5-man line out. There's referee Christoph Ridley from the RFU. And Luke Crosby not able to get to that ball. It's taken on by Killian Gallagher. Ireland's blind side. Stewart finds a front row forward in midfield. Immediately corralled by Scotland forwards. McPhillips. McCann. Clean take. Lovely pass to Darcy Graham. Scotland have. Simmers to Craig, it went back, says the referee. Scotland will do well to retrieve from here. Simmers to Rennick. Back to Josh Henderson, who hoists. Robbie Nairn more concentrating on coming up in a line than actually pursuing the kick. Scotland battling at breakdown. McPhillips again goes onto the narrow side, tries to find a wee bit space. None there. And I think we have an accidental offside rule by the referee. So again, Chris, Scotland in terms of territory from that well taken high kick by Ross McCann, Scotland have gained 30 metres or so. And since Ireland's try, the territory's been Scotland's.
Yeah, he's McPhillips trying to run out of his own territory. And Matt Fagerson is a big tackler, he's a big hitter. But he manages to dislodge the ball just on McPhillips. But you're right, that was a great take by Ross McCann, again in the wet conditions, and he slipped the ball to Darcy Graham. And that's where Scotland can be so effective. You know, they've done a lot of work, hard work up front. Their set piece is excellent, but if you can free Ross McCann and Darcy Graham in and around those edges and the short sides, I think Scotland have got a very good chance of breaking through the Irish defence. But we're playing in the right areas of the field after the dominance in the early part of the second half by Ireland. They're playing in the right areas of the field. They just have to keep targeting the space between the Irish defenders rather than through the Irish defence.
So scrum time, with Scotland having made a change at half time. It's Fergus Bradbury, who's been playing at Stirling County, part of the Oban Bradburys, and was at Merchiston Castle as well in Edinburgh to complete his schooling. Good scrum from Scotland. They have the penalty coming, and that will please forwards coach Eddie Pollock. And an opportunity here, Brian Eason, for Scotland to either go up the touchline or go for goal. What would you be doing?
Well, I'd be kicking for goal here. I think Scotland have done really well, and you both touched on it there to say territory's been much better. Ireland came out the traps. They've obviously had a bit of a roasting at half time and just come out the traps really well. Two very good line-outs, good catch and drive line-outs. Line-out penalty, try from the line-out as well. And then from then on, from Josh's 60-metre clearance, it's been all Scotland for the last few minutes. Again, we talked about it, Chris has talked about it as well, just about attacking more space. And to be able to attack space, we need to stretch the Ireland defence a little bit more. And to do that, we just need to set up a little bit wider. But real positive to see us, from that try, from going behind to then coming into here and getting an opportunity to the penalty here for Josh.
So Henderson of Glasgow Hawks, part of the BT Sport Academy here. How's the radar looking? It's looking good. Scotland under 20 retake the lead after 13.5 minutes of the second half here at Broadwood Stadium in Cumbernauld. Scotland leading 16-13. Good strike there, Chris.
Another excellent strike at a crucial moment in the game. They talk about momentum within the game as well, and it's swinging back and forth. That was an important kick for Scotland and well struck by Josh.
So two changes in the Scotland under-20 pack. Hamish Bain of Curry has replaced Alex Craig at lock, and Bruce Flockart, a Highland boy who's playing at Glasgow Hawks. Some of you may remember his dad, who was a typically abrasive Cali man in the back row, has replaced Tom Dodd at number 8. So Scotland looking to freshen things up in the pack. And they did well again to cope with just the bouncing ball there. And Scotland bulleting into the Irish territory. Henderson goes aerial. Matt Fagerson's out here on the wing. Great take by Fagerson. Oh, it was on for the offload to Darcy Graham. Scotland have ball though. Referee reckons that there's an injury here which requires immediate attention, so I guess we're going to resume with a scrum to Scotland. But that was a good skill again in terms of the aerial skill from Matt Fagerson.
Absolutely, there's 2 or 3 really good points. Here's the aerial skill. He gets up early, gets his hand in his eye line, and he dominates that collision there. Both fall pretty awkwardly. There's no malicious intent from either player there. It's just unfortunate they both got up fully committed and land awkwardly on the ground. It's the Irish fullback Jack Kelly. Looks as if he's holding his shoulder, but his knee looked as if it jarred slightly as well. And Matt Fagerson, well, his knee jarred a little bit too. But it's an excellent kick for Josh Henderson as well. That time Ireland were really narrow and the space was on the edge, so a contestable kick aiming for Matt Fagerson, and his physical dominance in the air was very well executed. And quite rightly, the referee blew up because of the proximity of the play to the injury.
Jack Kelly, the Irish captain, he plays for Dublin University, and he's had involvement with Leinster, Leinster's A-team in the British and Irish Cup this season, and happily he's recovered.
He doesn't look too comfortable, does he? He doesn't look too comfortable. His left shoulder, so
drooping a wee bit. Yeah.
You just wonder what the tactic will be in the near future from Scotland.
What, you suggesting a high ball a la Jim Staples, something like that? Yeah, I thought you were thinking that.
Scotland World Cup 1991.
1991. You must have been about 2 then or something, were you not?
I've got a good memory. Graham Shields' son's on the bench, isn't he? Try scorer.
Scotland again. Good advance from the scrum. The scrum is a real profitable source of, well, you know, there wasn't a knock on there. It would have been nice to have seen some kind of attacking play develop, but I guess the penalty awarded, so let's see what Scotland do here. What would you be doing, Chris? What are we looking at?
I would be tempted to kick for points, to go for the opportunity to score 3, but I must say Scotland's set piece has been outstanding. It's been absolute scrum, both scrum and line out, so the reason of hesitation in giving you an answer was because I think they've got as good an opportunity either way. Outstanding scrum wins a penalty. The line out has been good. But in Maddie, I think we'd maybe go for goal.
Here we go then. Fraser Rennick. Hunter Hill has to work hard to get it, and Scotland again are on damage limitation mode, but they go again. The next job to be done. It's picked up by Hamish Bain. He's going to be in trouble here. Yeah, he's isolated. And the desire to take ball forward, probably not the best decision there, Chris.
It's hard when it pops out like that. You have to make a quick decision, and quite often it's a support player who receives the, I suppose, the blame for not securing possession. But it was never right from Margot. The line-out was just a little bit fractious, and Scotland weren't able to get the momentum from that. And although the one line-out, it wasn't one clean. And as I say, the ball spits out, Hamish Bain goes on his own, and he's turned over.
And in the blink of an eye, and the swing of McPhillip's boot, Scotland are now defending a line out on their own 10-metre line. Now let's see what McElroy does here. Scotland don't really contest that. Stewart, McPhillips into midfield, back row forwards running hard. That was Gallagher. Inside to Larmour, the ball's gone forward, Fagerson picks up, chance to counter. Now here we go, it's Hutchison. The ball is now with Robbie Nairn. Nairn kicks ahead. Scampering back is McPhillips, and of course, with it being a football stadium, it's a very tight in-goal area, and we'll be back for a scrum to Ireland from that kick ahead. But at least there, the ball was dispatched quickly to the wide open spaces.
Yeah, it was initially
maybe not quite so wide, but
well,
you know what I mean.
It was good. It was excellent. It was initially swept up by Matt Fagerson and then hands through Josh Henderson, Cammy Hutchison and Craig Pringle, free Robbie Nairn. And that's what we'll talk about, giving that extra pass, getting on the edge of the defence when you have momentum. Just unfortunate for Robbie, such a big, powerful guy. It's hard to kick softly when you're running at such a pace. So the ball just bubbled dead, and we're back for the scrum to Ireland. But much better intent to play.
Did you have that problem when you were playing?
I never run quick enough.
Not true. The ever modest Mr. Patterson. And the upshot of that kick ahead from Robbie Nairn, who, in addition to being an experienced Scotland under-20 cap, is of course also a Scotland Sevens cap. Ireland, with a rather elaborate, now forced to go back is Larmour. Larmour is immediately nailed. It's some 10 metres from the Irish posts, and if they can effect a clearance from here, well, he's deep inside his own in goal, and to get close to the 22 from there is not a bad effort. But Scotland really now have to turn the screw, Chris, don't they?
Well, what they're doing really well at the moment is just pouncing on mistakes. Almost into the final 20 minutes, and there are mistakes through fatigue, through the wet evening, and Scotland are quickest to the loose ball. 2 or 3 times the Irish team have tried to force it, and Scotland have came out on top. That break that we saw for the kick down the wing there, and then from that scrum, they're able to turn over the ball, hack it clear, and keep a lot of pressure on Ireland in the right area of the field.
You just feel, though, from a home perspective, that they need some points on the board to reward this territory. Here's Fagerson. Caught by his opposite number. Penalty coming here. And an interesting call. Not rolling away after the tackle, says the referee. That's one of those where you watch it and you think the penalty could go either way.
We'll have another look at it here. Again, it's Matt Fagerson. He's actually hit really hard in the tackle by his opposite number, Boyle. And is it Boyle that's penalised for not getting away? He jumps his feet pretty quickly, and the second player in doesn't need to release. He's not part of the tackle. I think Scotland are pretty fortunate to get that penalty, but it's one that Josh Henderson and the Scotland team will gladly accept. He's kicked well. This is another important penalty. As you say, you need points for the territory that they've had in the last 10 minutes or so, and the pressure they've applied to Ireland. This is another very important kick.
So Henderson, who's already got 11 points to his credit. Here he goes. Stab kick is successful. Scotland back out to a 6-point advantage as we go into the final quarter here at Broadwood. Scotland leading Ireland by 19 points to 13. Jack Kelly, Ireland's captain, who was injured in that collision about 5 minutes ago, is replaced by Tommy O'Brien, the UCD and Leinster player wearing number 23. The kick from McPhillips goes out on the full, and we have either a little tricky line out a la Pierre Berbizier on halfway. No, we don't. We'll have the conventional scrum, not like Pierre Berbizier against France in 1986, back on halfway. And the options here for Scotland are exciting, aren't they?
Yeah, we've spoken so highly of Johnny McPhillips, and he has been outstanding, but that's a crucial mistake. Just when you've conceded points, it hands momentum back to Scotland. I think Scotland's scrum has been excellent so far. It's won 3, at least maybe even 4 scrum penalties, and I'll be pretty surprised if they get dominance if this one comes out. I think they may look for another penalty here and drive the ball deep into Irish territory, but we'll see. Ireland again defending only 3 up in the front line.
Ireland making a change in the front row as well. Charlie Connolly from Dublin University replacing Peter Cooper. Here goes Darcy Graham. Oh, it's an interception by Larmour. Great covering tackle by Andrew Summers. That was absolutely priceless by the scrum half. Up goes Flockart as well. Great recovery work, but well done Andrew Summers there, because that had the old alarm bells ringing. Stewart. Scotland over the ball. However, Ireland have Dowling, their big second row. Takes play up to the 10-metre line. Paul Boyle goes right through the middle. It's Doris. Doris on his knees, rumbling forward. McPhillips finds space. taken by Hogan, the dangerous left winger. We've not seen Hogan much in traffic. It's McElroy again, drives forward. Stewart, McPhillips looking inside when there were bodies and options out left. Flockart getting in, making the tackle. It's taken on by Wycherley. Stewart again. It was Hogan looking for work. It's Dowling. Good tackle. That was Flockart. Ireland again keeping it. There's a one pass and then contact, but McPhillips now inside to the replacement fullback O'Brien. Scotland's defence holds firm thus far. Stewart to Boyle. Scotland working hard, but Ireland still have, going through the phases. McPhillips, options out here. Oh, lovely burl out of contact from Frawley, the inside centre. Stewart again, taken on by Wycherley, the lock. Referee puts whistle to mouth. Scotland not rolling away now. We saw Ireland right at the start of this second half opting for the penalty to touch. Looks as if McPhillips is going to do the same again. And Ireland, having been under the cosh for the last 15 minutes or so, have an opportunity here to strike, Chris.
Yeah, slightly surprised by that decision to go to the corner. That was the first time that Ireland, in fact any teams, really put a big number of phases on in the second half. I thought the Scottish defence held out pretty well. It must have been upwards of 10 or 12 phases, but again a similar penalty, isn't it, for not rolling away at the breakdown. And I must admit, I thought Ireland would maybe opt to take the 3 points, but they followed the lead of their line out early in the second half and kicked to the same corner.
Ireland making a change at scrum half. Jack Lyons of Young Munster replacing Johnny Stewart. The line out throw was some way off the straight, and well, if Scotland can effect a clearance from the scrum,
yeah, it's just too squint, isn't it? Sometimes you see if the defending team don't go up and it's just off the line, and I think it's quite good to see the ball kept in, but that was way off the square. And as I say, Scotland's scrum has been good. This is where you need it to be good. There'll be a lot of pressure coming from the Irish pack, who've just frustrated themselves for giving up that attacking opportunity.
Simmers feeds. Ireland trying to disrupt the Scottish scrum. It's a pick up, and Cammy Hutchison does well. Simmers finding his captain, Josh Henderson. That's a good clearance up to the Irish 10-metre line. Now here's Hogan. Hogan goes cross field. Darcy Graham has to scurry across, and the line out will now be to Scotland a couple of metres outside their 22. Interesting passage of play, Chris.
It was an interesting pass, and Hogan found a bit of space on this right hand side, but I don't think it necessarily hurt Scotland too much. I think a good kick chase. He didn't have the option to kick himself, and it gives Scotland the opportunity to throw into the line out. And I think if his Irish coach, he'd maybe look for him to move that to someone who was a bit more space and look for a second touch to keep attacking. But Scotland gives them opportunity to set the pace, slow the game down, get their call right, get their clarity in place, and try and win another line out.
Hunterhill taking the ball at the front. Scotland opting to give to Simmers. Simmers hoists. McCann has a wee look. That's all right. Taken in by Bain. Scotland have. Simmers to Henderson. Henderson. That's a clever kick. Now, Darcy Graham absolutely blazing up. Oh, got to make the tackle. Does so. That's what we like about Darcy Graham, doing the basics well. He's electrifying, but he also does his basics. Now, Ireland in their own 22. Guess who? Scotland have an opportunity here. Here's Josh Henderson. Henderson feeds to McCann needed to pass. Fraser Rennick does very well. Simmers beckoning to players to come closer. He gives it to Hunterhill. Hunterhill maybe a wee bit upright there. Simmers is taken on by Flockart. Scotland not committing many to that breakdown. Ireland trying to effect the turnover. Rennick picks up. Scotland penalised for going to deck over the ball. They just didn't commit enough men to win that breakdown, Chris.
No, there's an opportunity as well. Ross McCann, when he sees that again, he'll be frustrated. He hasn't had a lot of possession. He's such a dangerous runner, Ross McCann, but he had Matt Fagerson on his left-hand side. But again, Scotland looking good in attack when they have that ambition to give the extra pass. But disappointing end to that. Just, I think after the phases built up, they didn't commit just quite enough to clear out. And it gives Ireland an opportunity to kick the line. But that was really good play again from Scotland. They're growing into the game. I think they started well. This is the attack here. Ross on his left-hand side. That's the last defender. And McPhillips, Matt Fagerson is outside. They kept possession well there. But unfortunately for Scotland, turnover thereafter.
So we're into the final 10 minutes here at the end of a double header of international rugby in North Lanarkshire. Penalty advantage being played. McElroy, Andrew Simmers, who is really impressed with his work rate at scrum half and bravery, doesn't buy the dummy, but Ireland still have possession. It's taken on by Doris. And Ireland's pack sensing an opportunity here. Referee again indicating an advantage. McElroy with Boyle on his shoulder. This is a pretty devastating sequence of pick and goes from the Irish. Doris again. Scotland just having to look alert. Luke Crosby makes the tackle. Doris is poised over the ball. It's picked up by Wycherley. Ireland are about 5 metres short. McElroy again. McElroy, who scored Ireland's try at the start of this second half. They trail by 6 points. We've got 8.5 minutes to go. That's the line. And he burrows out of contact. And it's a score for the Irish forward. I'm just looking to see, did you clock the scorer there, Chris?
Oh, it came from a huge number of phases, didn't it? The control from the set piece, and then it must be upwards of 15 phases. The Scottish guys defended bravely. Is it Boyle, number 7? I think
Boyle it is.
It's Paul Boyle, who eventually comes out. He's been carried really hard this evening, actually. He's been good in the breakdown. He's such a physical man for a number 7. Spins out the tackle, gets lower.
Yeah,
than
he
Bradbury,
got low. Yeah,
and he scored. That's obviously stating the obvious, but that's a crucial try for Ireland. There still is time in this game, over 7 minutes left. But Ireland, that's the second time in this half they've built through the phases and looked far more structured, far more dangerous. And they've been rewarded with a score for the number 7, Paul Boyle.
So McPhillips with an opportunity to give Ireland the lead, which he takes. So it's a 1-point game here at Broadwood. We've got just over 7 minutes remaining. Scotland have enjoyed a lot of territory this half, but Ireland have struck with 2 well executed tries, one off a penalty to touch and then another where they've really run through the phases. What have Scotland got left? Let's see. Kick from Josh Henderson finds Ireland's 22 as Scotland make a change. Charge down. Luke Crosby does very well to retrieve for Scotland. Simmers now finds Flockart. Ireland slow to roll away there. It's taken on by Dan Winning, who's replaced Adam Nicholl at tight head for Scotland. Simmers. It's a lovely break. Ross McCann almost manages to control that. Again, it was very close in, wasn't it, Chris?
I think Josh Henderson's been outstanding in his first start in under-20s. He's played with composure. He's kicked well. He's kicked his goals spectacularly well, and that's a glimpse of what he brings in attack. Ghosts through. He's distributed so well tonight, and then when it's been on to go there, he's taken it. What I think he could have done better was given the pass as soon as he broke line there. He's got Ross McCann supporting his inside, but Josh Henderson has been outstanding on his first start, and if he could just look to get that ball away a little bit quicker, Ross McCann could have been scampering under the post. But as I said, when the conversion was being taken by Johnny McPhillips, there's still time left in this game for Scotland to carve out a win.
Stafford McDowell, Stewartry boy, who now plays at Ayr, is on for his Scotland under-20 debut. And we have an injury for the Irish with 5.5 minutes remaining, and they're going to their bench. So Marcus Ray on in the Irish back row. Scotland did well again to put pressure on Ireland, who were trying to exit. There was a charge down and Luke Crosby rescuing, and then we saw, as Chris said, just a lovely break from Josh Henderson. And Ireland making another change. The clock, as you can see, is static. So Rory Mulvihill is replacing Joey Conway at Loosehead for Ireland. We'll go to Chris in a few seconds to hear his selection of man of the match, but let's see how this close range scrum works. McPhillips. It's a super clearance from the Ireland 10, and the skills of the respective 10s tonight have been a real feature of the game, haven't they?
Absolutely. They both played very, very well. Both led their teams around the park really well. There's some impressive performance here, Graham, that I'm sure we'll see in the international arena not too far. We said at the top of the show it could be within the next few months, next few weeks even, for some of these players, but it's such a great start out, isn't it, the under-20s Six Nations, and then to follow up with the Junior World Cup in May and June. It's a great platform for these guys to show their skills, and hopeful for them come on to more international honours.
Yeah, Junior World Cup this year in Georgia. So a few changes being made, but we'll stick with the live action at the moment. Fraser Rennick finds his man. That was Flockart. Here's Fagerson. Fagerson, all action. Makes a good 5 metres forward. It's taken on now, and again the Scotland forwards going forward. Out to Henderson. Scotland need to regroup. Quite narrow at the moment, and Ireland finding it relatively easy to defend. Scotland now going wide, but it's pretty static at the moment. Ball is there though. Simmer's got to get it away. Finds Flockart up to the 10 metre line. Needs some go forward again, and the body positions were maybe just a wee bit high, but the penalty is there, and it's just beyond the 10 metre line. Now Chris, you know Josh Henderson well. Would you say this is within his range?
I think so. I think he struck the first one of the game very, very well. It was probably just a little bit further out than that. That looks about 43 metres on the angle, and I think he certainly does have that in his range. He's kicked superbly well, and let's see how he deals with this one.
So Josh Henderson, as we say, a Kirkcaldy boy. Finished his schooling at Strathallan, part of the BT Sport Academy. A chance to be a hero for Scotland under 20. crowd is hushed. Here he goes. Well, there seemed to be indecision from the two assistant referees, and we'll draw a veil over the unsporting cry from the crowd.
There's not a lot in it, just shaves the right hand upright. Often happens if you're kicking just at the end of your range. You give it a little bit more, miss the strike somewhat, but that's a cracking effort. Still an opportunity for Scotland to come through and win this match. I must admit I've been impressed by the way Ireland have came back into it, but Scotland's set piece, they will have another opportunity to try and win this game.
I think we need to hear your selection of man of the match now.
Well, it's really, really difficult. I think there's been some outstanding performers on both sides. I think for Scotland, we've spoken about Josh Henderson. We spoke about this man, deserves a mention, Matt Fagerson, the Scotland back row player, still charging into contact.
Not
the
rolling.
set piece has been excellent. Scotland front row, but it's going to be an Irish player who's my man in the match, under 20s Six Nations man of the match. It's the number 10, Johnny McPhillips. I think if Ireland didn't have Johnny McPhillips in their side, they would be a long way short of Scotland. He's been absolutely outstanding. The man of the match, Irish outside half, Johnny McPhillips.
Henderson with a lovely sleight of hand there, keeping the ball alive. There's just over a minute and a half to go. Scotland in their own half at the moment. Taken on by Hunter Hill. Henderson. Ireland defensive engagement, very rapid. Ball spilt forward, and that might be last chance saloon. What do you do in this kind of situation, Chris?
Well, you have to tweak the scrum. You've been dominant in the set piece. As you see, Daniel Winning carrying and just ball popping just out of his hands under pressure of the tackle. But what do you do in this situation? Well, you take pride in the fact that your scrum has been dominant for most of the evening, and you fire one last massive effort on the Irish scrum and try and win it back. If you're Ireland, well, you just take your time, you get your process right, you get set nice and low, and you try and control the ball. Look to build through a couple of phases, and then I'm pretty sure McPhillips, who's already been announced as our man of the match, will move his team around the field, dictate the tempo of it, and probably find some territory with that right boot of his.
You used the word control there, and the control and experience of McPhillips at this juncture looks as if it's going to be crucial to the outcome.
Yeah, as I said just earlier, I think there's been some outstanding performers for Scotland, but I just think for Ireland to be in this match with a score as it is, 1 point in it, and Ireland on the right side of that point, I think it's down to that one man on their side, Johnny McPhillips.
So it's Ireland's replacement scrum half, Jack Lyons, feeding. Scotland definitely got the nudge on. Now it's with Rollie in midfield, and it looks as if it's going to be the old zigzag routine. Here we go. One to t'other. Lyons again. And all the aces lie with Ireland at the moment. Back to Dowling. Scotland back to McPhillips, who hoofs the ball into touch. That is full time here at Broadwood Stadium. Scotland under 20 foiled by 1 point with a try in the 73rd minute, which was converted by Johnny McPhillips. McPhillips, who had kicked 2 penalties and converted both the tries. Chris, your thoughts on the match overall?
Well, another desperately close one, isn't it? I think Scotland have a young under-20s team, if that makes sense. A lot of players in their first year of under-20 rugby, and they can be hugely proud of the way they performed. The set piece was outstanding. The game management was good, certainly from the half-backs, but Ireland came out on top. They had the distinguishing factor in Johnny McPhillips, their standoff. They improved in the second half and improved just enough to win by the finest of margin.
Brian Easton also with us. Brian, where do you think Scotland will kind of look to build from here?
In a set piece of there, you just see Luke Crosby there. Some of our line-out work tonight has been outstanding. Matt Ferguson, guys like that, carrying really hard. That was a breakout play we used in the first half that got right in the guts of the Irish team. And you know, once we get in behind it, maybe just for me, would just be to play that a little bit wider and just put we were a little bit narrow in attack. But I tell you, tonight we can be delighted with the way we carried ball. We can be delighted with our set piece. We could be delighted with in terms of both scrum and line-out.
And the maul was effective as well, wasn't it? See Fraser Rennick with the ball at the back of the maul. The building blocks of the game, as you say, the set piece, the scrum, the line out, the maul, it laid the foundation for Scotland to launch their attacks. Josh Henderson, as we said in commentary, was outstanding. This was the ball that just bubbled just out of Ross McCann's grasp. Darcy Graham was electric as well. How big a future does that young guy have? But eventually another one just held up short. Here's a scrum, Brian. Good body position, dominant again.
Yeah, dominant. I think we were dominant all the way through. Eddie Pollock will be absolutely delighted with him. You know, look at the forward momentum we've got going in that scrum. Another scrum penalty that comes in there. So, you know, the boys coming off will be mightily disappointed losing by a point, but they can take an awful lot out of that game this evening. And with some good performances. We said Ferguson carried hard. I thought Josh Henderson was excellent as well, as obviously with the front five of their set piece. Yeah, two disappointing results in the end for Scotland, losing the under-20s Six Nations by a single point, as you see the score still on your screen. Scotland 19, Ireland 20. It was 2 tries for Ireland from McElroy and Boyle, and 1 for Cammy Hutchison for Scotland. Josh Henderson with the rest of the hosts' points. Earlier in the women's Six Nations match, Scotland again, heartache. An injury time try by Jenny Murphy. The Scotland women lost out to 22 points to 15 by the Irish counterparts. It's been great having you on Scottish Rugby TV. We look forward to welcoming you again. And our next live stream broadcast on Friday the 24th of February, where we'll watch Scotland women take on Wales women and Scotland under 20 taking on Wales under 20 here again at Broadwood Stadium in Cumbernauld. Thank you must go to Stuart McFarlane, Claire Bain for their commentary and coverage of the opening game in the women's, and to Graham Law and for his commentary of the under-20s game, and Brian Easton for his summary. One last thing is to announce our Facebook competition winner. So the winner of 2 tickets for Scotland versus Wales at BT Murrayfield for the RBS Six Nations match on the 25th of February is Natalie Moffat. Natalie Moffat wins those 2 tickets. We hope you have a fantastic day at BT Murrayfield, and Scottish Rugby will be in touch via Facebook to confirm your winnings. Thank you very much for joining us on Scottish Rugby TV. We hope you've enjoyed both games, both cracking games, and we hope you enjoy the game tomorrow. Thank you very much, and you'll see you on the 24th of February.